What it is, pimp?
Hey y'all, can you hear me, Jerome? I don't
Yeah,
know
we can
what.
hear you.
Oh, it's working. Okay. What it do? Jingle bells, jingle bells. You know it's hot in California. It needs some rain again.
What's up, Shonda, man?
What's up? What's up with it?
You at work or driving to work?
Headed to work.
That's really your little headgear for work, huh?
Yep. Keep these edges together.
You take it off when you get there?
Huh?
You take it off once you get there?
No. I'm in a dungeon with a headset on. It keeps the headset from pulling my hair out.
Oh, I forgot you not driving no more.
Yeah.
It's like it is right. Sit this a different way.
How y'all been?
I've been good, as usual. What about you?
Tired but good. I have no real complaints.
Well, most times women don't have real complaints. I just like to complain. Ain't that right, baby? She said, yeah.
No, she
With her,
didn't.
she said, yeah, with her middle finger.
Oh, okay.
As long as she stick it straight
I
up there
believe
to
that
the
part.
yellow side. That's a Houston thing.
I believe that part.
That's something to do with trio and all that type of stuff. They're a little different.
Shannon, I see you had your boots on the ground the other night.
Say Shannon had her boots on the ground.
Yep. She had her fan too. She said pop, pop, pop.
Oh Lord, she sang like one of them girls be at the club with the damn fan. Boy, that's one of the most irritating
I'm about
trends
to
they done
bring.
had out.
I got me one. I just got my carpal tunnel. Don't let me pop it like I want to. I popped it one time and it flew across the room.
Hey, yeah, I did. I feel like hear an
Of
echo.
Constance.
When I get my two left feet together, I'm gonna put my boots on the ground.
Girl, I can't dance. That dance is just fun as fuck.
It is. It is.
You know how to do it, Shannon?
Yeah. And tell my girl she right about them boots. I only wore them one time. That those are not for the weak.
No, I couldn't even play that game with actually wearing no motherfucking. Oh,
Boots
I
are
said I
not
was gonna
comfortable.
say
You
my
gotta wear.
second
You gotta wear them thick
boots.
socks like you do to the skating ring,
That ain't gonna matter, girl. That
and then put
heel
the
is where
insoles in them.
that hard heel and the way it sits because it's
Yeah.
short. Something about that heel wear your feet out.
What you had on, cowboy boots?
Yep. I bought me one pair because we had a rodeo night for one of the ladies I play spades with for her
Mm-hmm.
birthday. So
But
everybody
y'all
was
got to
going.
break. You got to break cowboy boots in.
That's what I heard, but they broke me the first day, so I don't know.
Yeah, you got to break them in though. I used to have a lot of them.
They take a
Oh,
long
you are
time
in the
to break
country
in.
too, though.
No, not
I
in the
done had a
country.
pair
Kansas City is not
for
the country, man.
I've had a
Who?
pair for 10 years and they still not
Definitely
It
not
broke
the
is the
in.
country.
country. Y'all got more land than you got buildings. It's the country.
Is that what that is?
Yep.
Well, we definitely got that. I think a country when you got a lot of farm land. We just got land. Yeah, we just got
when
a
you,
bunch of land.
I think me when I see country, I just see more land than actual buildings and stuff like that. You don't have to have animals on it to be in the country. And I'm not talking about like the way you live or whatever. I'm just talking about the geographical part of it.
Yeah. Well, if that's the definition of
Maybe
it,
that's
then
the
we definitely
Cali in me.
country.
because we don't have no land. We got nothing but buildings.
Yeah.
Unless you go to the desert, and then you're in the desert because you ain't no grass out there, so it can't be country.
Y'all sure have a bunch of fires for y'all not to have no bunch of land.
Because it only takes the winds. Them standing there in the winds ain't no joke. Ain't no joke.
Anywhere out here ain't no joke because everything's so goddamn dry. I saw a video yesterday where these people, where this guy was tending to a lawn and it was all, you know, brown and shit, basically looking like, hey, one little bitty fireball landed on that shit and just took out the whole lawn. It was on its way to the house within
And the little
1
gardeners got it.
minute. It wasn't even 30. It don't even seem like it was a whole minute.
It wasn't. It spread it so damn quick. That whole grass was gone. Well, the whole dirt because it wasn't no grass.
Oh, they was able to catch it?
Yeah, they caught it
Because
eventually, but it kept. You should see how it went though, because when he thought he had it covered, that shit just sparked right back up. Like it
it
just
back
kept
up
spreading
again.
its way. It was crazy.
Well, I know y'all ain't showing so high down there.
Oh, they're not even covering a lot of people. Like
Yeah,
they'll cover you up for everything but a fire. Like before the fires that we had this past season,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of the insurance companies, they were saying canceled a lot of insurance policy before the season started, like right after Christmas, something like that. Like right when, because you know we usually have fires every year around this time.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of
I
how like
wouldn't
we
cancel
have
them, but it would have been high as here.
hurricanes and shit like that. No, because shit, just imagine trying to pay out for one house up on that hill, and the house costs $10 million. And you go insure. I don't know if your insurance gonna keep up with that. If you got 2-3 neighborhoods and you talking about 1,000 houses and they all worth $2 million and up, shit.
Yeah. Their insurance be $10,000 a month.
Okay, that might get
Only way
paid
you
out.
getting insured.
And then they was talking about how many people talking about rebuilding and moving back up there. Why? Like, what is the why for? It's the why
Stupid.
for me.
Just stupid.
It's the why for me. Yeah, I'm barely moving. That shit was so much fun last night. And I loved every moment of throwing the ladies off of the bull. They up there, they ride. And I start making that shit go fast. So much fun. I had so much fun last night. We all did. It's a good time.
Oh, shoot. That's what it is. I ain't make my post.
You ain't made no post and you been live already. I'm low key still half-ass buzzing. I need to be asleep so bad. Ooh, where's that video? Be like we can show that video before we get started. Dag nuggets. Video that I shared. While you doing what you doing, we can listen to that. Whose fucking alarm is going on? Oh, coast.
I got a question, Jerome. Can you hear
Okay.
me?
Uh-huh.
Is there a price that you would accept to, I would say, to squander your image, your character, and who you are, and what you stand for?
As a regular person, or like as an actor or actress or something? Or
Just as you personal, just you. Whether you
give me
famous or not.
an example of what you're saying.
Huh?
Give me an example of what you're talking about.
So say like, I'm trying to see. What's a group don't nobody really like?
KKK.
Okay, say the KKK say we gonna pay you such and such a dollars, and you gotta say you my friend, and we gonna be best of friends. We gonna take pictures, and we gonna hang out together, and you gonna do whatever I tell you to do.
Depending on what you tell me to do, party.
Well, it won't be nothing like drastic, no sexual shit like that. But like, we're best friends now. You promote me, you support me. You agree with everything what I agree with.
Yeah. It's a price. Yeah, it ain't like it. I look at it all as acting and working.
Gotcha.
You know, there used to be a time like back in the days, I wouldn't do some stuff like that. But the way people judge people now here, people probably think I'm cooning and all that type of stuff anyway. So we'll get paid for it. I say stuff on here to make some niggas be like, this nigga don't like that.
Yes, the hell you do. I be like, he can't be a Christian. He can't. We don't love the same God. No, we don't love the same
I'm a
God.
white Christian. I'm a white Christian.
Evangelistical or whatever angelical or whatever the hell they call themselves. I'm like, he can't. He don't mean it, God. He don't mean it. He take it back. That was a discussion that me and my son was having. Like, what's the price of your morals? What's the price of your character?
Now, I never go against God. But anything else, yeah, you pay me to act like I'm doing something that I ain't, that goes against what I would normally do. Yeah. Hold on, y'all. Shonda, what your son say?
He was yes and no. Like you said, it just depends on what they're asking him to do.
Yeah. Because for the most part, I mean, I look at it as just performing or acting or something like that. What was your
answer? If it was something that would cause harm?
That's why I say it depends on what they ask me to do. Cause harm in what kind of way, though? Physical harm or physically?
Like, what if it jeopardized somebody else's livelihood? Not like kill them, but say, okay, they about to be homeless. If you associate with it, they about to take all their stuff. And
if I associate with them,
yeah,
it still depends on how much they paying me. I can buy some shit and rent to them. It depends. If it's something that I can't help them back into where they need to be, then no, I wouldn't do it.
And my thing is just really on, I don't think there's no price the Ku Klux Klan can pay me to say we friends or homies. Not in public, you can't. Not in
I'm
public.
going to a rally. Fuck you, darkies.
Let me tell you. I would actually hate y'all niggas. They pay me enough.
You already do, nigga.
I'm trying to sign up for the next. Motherfucker, can I pull the string on the next lynching? I want to hold it.
Sure.
Can I hold the rope?
Let me see.
But see, okay, so say you see how you like, can you hold the next rope? You go into the next lynching. But say the next lynching was somebody you love.
I don't love nobody.
You love your son.
Fuck him too.
Lies you tell, nigga. Lies you tell. Lies you tell. Let somebody come after baby boy. We about Osama bin Laden didn't do shit.
That's somebody else coming after him. But if I'm coming after him,
but I'm saying, but that's the same thing you doing to somebody else though.
You said if it was my kid.
But I'm saying
y'all said it wasn't no bodily harm though.
No,
but she changed it when she's talking about going to the next lynching and shit.
I ain't changing shit. I said fuck that nigga too.
Yeah, she just
I can't. Yeah,
she's just talking. So we
so if I did it and I was like the next lynching is Shannon's son, then what?
And do I get to pull the rope? If I get to pull the rope, hey, I want to look that nigga dead in the eye. Be like, remember that shit you did?
She probably ain't whoop him while she talking.
He ain't never got a whooping.
I don't even know how they do it.
I'm not about to play with you. I'm not about to play with you.
Stick your tongue out, nigga.
Yeah, it just depends. It depends on what it is, who it is.
I just can't do. Now, if the lyncher was my baby daddy, then we might have a conversation. Nah, I can't even say I would lynch him.
Yeah, I ain't doing no.
Because he got other kids and shit.
So I wouldn't do no type of bodily harm to nobody though. It ain't gotta be that extreme.
Yeah, I don't. I think I'm getting soft. The older I get, the softer I get. Because I've had more sympathy for other people.
To somebody you don't know, bodily harm to them.
Say it again.
What if you're doing bodily harm and you don't know? Like
then
anything, I would think that anything where you sell your soul to the devil, there's going to be some shit that they don't tell you that are going to be.
You can't sell yourself to the devil. That's TV stuff.
That's who?
I mean, that's basically the
TV
same
stuff.
thing.
Selling your soul to the devil.
It's a metaphor.
Euphemism.
Yeah. For what she's saying. You don't know. Because that's basically what it is. A lot of people will sell their soul to the devil for X amount of dollars.
Not knowing what they really signed up for.
Right, not knowing what they signed up for. They might know like what they tell them in the beginning, but
like, hey, yeah, we just gonna have you come out here, and because Shannon comedian, so we just gonna come out here to have you tell a couple of jokes, but you can't read the fine print what's going on in this contract that you don't know you signed up for.
Well, yeah, I still do it because you said I wouldn't know what I was signing, so it's the same thing. As long as I'm intentionally signing up for what I'm thinking I'm signing up for, and it ain't causing no bodily harm, then I would do it.
I think I would take the money and then like help other people that they trying to hurt, but help them on the slide. Like kind of like a Robin Hood.
You the next lynching. Off with your head.
I'll be the next Robin Hood. Yeah, we friends. Yeah.
They'll have a whole militia looking for you.
They would. They would, because I
be like, you violated the contract.
And they wouldn't even know it.
You got to go. You gonna be Harriet Tubman?
Yeah.
At the ground rail, right?
I drive buses already. Shit. I hope you guys are going to the one in August. I already got my vacation days in.
What's in August?
The tournament. I heard you guys talking about it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You know that for the first time,
Uncle Lewis on here. What's up, Uncle?
30 years, I had to literally show somebody my social security card. What's the last time y'all showed somebody your physical social security card?
When I got this management position, I had to actually bring my social security card in for them to make a copy.
So before that, when was the last time you had to actually have a physical copy?
Almost 27 years ago.
I was about to say, like, for me, probably like 30 years. When motherfucker asked for it, I was like, this my number, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Here's my ID. That should go together,
Right.
right? He was
See
like,
that?
no, I must have a physical copy on file for you. What?
When well, not the actual card, but I could scan it. I had to actually scan like pictures over my social security when I went to different bus companies because they didn't want the physical for my credentials and shit. They gotta have it in the files. I'll send them a copy of it.
I haven't worked in a long time, a job like a real job,
Don't
and
rub that shit in.
I
I
still
think I
don't
got.
recall showing my physical social security card. I couldn't even. I didn't even know what a motherfucker was. It's been so long. I was like, a social security card. Shit, I might have to order one. I don't know what the fuck that's at. That's not even something I carry in my
I keep
wallet.
mine
Yeah,
on
me
me.
neither. Mine don't stay in my wallet. I have all our important documents in a little file folder.
Yeah, I keep mine on me.
My son keeps his on his too, but I'm like,
I
if
think
somebody
most
steal
men
your
probably
shit,
do.
if,
'Cause we don't normally
if
keep like a folder of important papers. Like
Shit,
most of us probably don't know where our birth certificates are.
I didn't have a file of important papers until I turned 45,
Uh-oh,
46.
Kirk's gonna join.
Because
Join from the
I
start.
don't think you. Well, for me, because I guess I'm slow. But it wasn't until it's like you're approaching that age where it's like, okay, I need to set some shit aside. you know, all your little life insurance shit and
I did
stupid
that
little,
years ago.
and it's not really for me right now because I don't have I only got one kid, so it's not really a
I
lot, but it is still something that you finally think to yourself. Because I just when I was working before, life insurance came with
your
my
job.
job, so it was nothing. So then when I realized it, I still have a certain amount of when I realized, okay, I'm not working anymore, they're not covering that anymore. However, my medical insurance policy has a life insurance policy attached to it. So I never really thought about until recently, last year or two, damn, I really need to get me a full-fledged policy that I'm paying for and put all my little papers together and put it to the side. Like, bitch, you getting old. What am I doing?
We need y'all to hurry up and come join the panel, y'all.
Yeah, I'm
So we
about
get
to
these.
Because as black
I
people, we
got
don't even
mine
really
together.
think about that
Shannon, what
shit.
woke me up, Shannon? Oh, I keep calling you Shannon. Shanna was my trainer. Shannon. What made me get all mine together was after I had that stroke.
Okay.
When you have
Well,
a
That was
stroke,
about
and that be the thing with black
2015.
people.
I
We
was
usually
36.
wait until something traumatic happen, and if we survive it, then we ready to get our shit
Yeah.
together. When we should really be trained to do
So
that young.
I've always had
What up, big
insurance on the
dog?
job, but I got extra insurance.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like
Yeah.
that, the one that's gonna be like this nigga that I want to lynch. Gonna have this nigga sitting up in the hill
He gonna be living
somewhere,
better than me. My son was like,
running with
he
running with
said,
all the
Mom,
hoes.
where you say your life insurance papers? I said, nigga, what the fuck are you looking for my papers for?
He better not never ask me. I will cancel that shit. I'll be like,
He's
you
like,
know
no,
what?
you
I
said
do
because
this
so
I
next
want
how
you
you
week.
gonna?
next
What if
week and
something
you try
happened
to
to
kill
you? I
me.
ain't gonna know.
He gonna pay. He have to pay for it himself.
He ain't
You
gonna
know
know
how
who to
black
go
people
to.
do. We
If me and
go
my wife
fund the
got insurance,
motherfucker.
if something happened to her, I wouldn't know what's the insurance company or none of that.
That's what the packet. That's what we're talking about. The little packet that you set aside. You're supposed to know where her packet is at.
That's the same as asking
Her
where the
mama.
insurance thing is at.
Okay, that's what we're talking about.
But y'all saying
You
y'all
gonna
wouldn't.
find.
You said you'll cancel it, and
No,
she.
we're talking. No, I was saying my son was asking, because he was trying to be funny, like, because he got mad, talking about where your life insurance paper, like he really wanted to take me out so he could collect to make sure it's paid up. He was being funny about the shit.
Don't play with me. I will cancel that shit and make you do a GoFundMe, motherfucker.
My foster mother, she did that. She canceled her
And
life
see what
insurance a year before she passed. Good thing her husband was financially responsible and still was able to take care of everything. But yeah, she can't. She don't leave nobody shit.
It makes sense. She probably was evil. Most y'all women evil anyway. I'm starting to notice that.
She was semi evil. She had a good heart, but it wasn't always good.
Ain't almost all women evil, Daryl.
For sure.
You know what though?
I'm glad I'm not almost.
The parenting part of adults is actually harder than raising them. Do you agree?
I do.
Because you can't even. It's like you have to, like when they're kids, you can like threaten them and scare them into acting right and doing what they're supposed to do and shit like that. You know, you're right. I might have only whipped my boy a couple times, but I didn't have to because that nigga asked me one time after a whooping. He was like, "Hey, so you mean to tell me, mama, if I do what you say, you won't whip me no more?" Exactly, though, nigga. So he really didn't do a lot. And then by the time he was like in 11th grade, he was too big to whoop. I mean, I might have strangled him with a extension cord one time, but I digress. Anyway, the part where now that he's an adult and you can't really do anything but advise them and hope they take your advice because they don't have to. They grown. They can do what the fuck they want, make their own decisions.
Mm-hmm.
But if they make a bad decision, somehow, some kind of way, it still comes back on you as the parent.
Bullshit. That's y'all mamas. Because y'all, see, if y'all had husbands, y'all should be directing all this concern and shit to, then you wouldn't be worried about your sons.
Well, the last, I'm
You
gonna say
need
the
to stop
last
with all that. A
month.
husband. What a husband got to do with me being his mom? I'm gonna forever be
I
his
just
mom.
said.
That
I
don't have
said
to
if
do with a
y'all had a
husband. That don't
husband,
have to do with his
y'all would
father.
have all this
Because
concerns
if
and
if
all
the
that
father
stuff.
is
Then y'all wouldn't have all this concerns for your kids because your husband will make sure, hey, don't worry about that shit. He grown. Leave him the fuck alone.
I just seen a video on that.
That's not gonna. So what? Just because your
Yeah,
husband
dude.
say that,
Yeah,
that's not
dude.
gonna stop you from
Chad,
being concerned for
son,
your children.
we got to pause. I mean, mute yours. It's giving a whole bunch of feedback.
Feedback. Yeah, I thought it was me at first. I was about to go off again.
Okay,
No, but
she
that don't.
acting like she
I
having a
know I'm
stroke.
muted. I said I don't even have an earpiece or nothing on. The car's not even on. I'm just sitting here.
When we talking and you ain't talking, it's doing a whole bunch of feedback.
So I understand what you're saying, but Jerome, no, nothing as a mother stops you from caring for your child. I don't care how
I ain't
many
say
times.
caring. I said worrying.
Don't worry about, or you stop me from worrying about it. It's my baby. I'm gonna worry about him, even if I can't do nothing about it. I'm not gonna sit up. I ain't gonna say I'm gonna sit up and we gonna be crying all day about the shit, but I'm gonna be concerned about my child.
Have you been married since he been grown?
My adult child. What does that have to do with it, Jerome?
Just answer the question, ma'am. Have you been married?
I'm not married.
Well, you don't know how you would be as a married man with a grown
yes,
child.
I do, motherfucker. Yes, I do. What the
No,
fuck?
you don't.
So
See, that's
what's the difference in having? What's the difference in having a man and a husband during? What's the
because your
difference?
man to keep your ass in your feelings in check where they need to be. See, you
I didn't say my feelings were not in
too
check.
much time worrying about a grown ass man.
You done lost your mind. How does me saying
that's probably why you ain't got a husband
as a parent, the more difficult part about parenting
your parenting is over, man.
Or not parenting is watching them do things and you can't do nothing about it. And you have to just
you shouldn't be watching them do things anyway. Pay attention to your husband, ma'am.
Girl, man,
your son,
please.
you done your job.
I'm gonna give my baby some love.
Let his wife worry about what he doing. You worry about what your husband doing.
When he get married, he will. I'm gonna worry about my baby. I'm gonna always be concerned.
Well, you probably ain't gonna have a good relationship with a man. I wouldn't even allow my wife to worry about somebody else.
Your wife don't have no kids, so it's easy for you to say that.
No, what I would allow
Oh
ain't got
yeah,
nothing to do with no
yeah.
matter who I'm
It's
married to.
easy to it's easy to speak on the shoes you ain't never put your feet in.
No, did you hear what I just said?
I wasn't listening. Hi,
I know.
Daryl.
Hey, what's up?
What's wrong with you? You must have got that Barker Lounger.
Huh?
I said, what's wrong with you?
You got like
Damn,
you didn't speak.
what's wrong with you? Shit. Coffee.
Man,
that
that's
shit.
that gas. That's za.
Yeah, okay. You smoking that buzz.
That's fire. Oh my God.
What's up,
Oh,
Daryl?
you sound like you laying down. That's why I said that.
I am. I was looking at all them big booty girls on Facebook. You be hey dog.
I ain't hating on it. I ain't hating.
You looking at them on what channel?
They coming across my feed.
All the channels.
Oh,
Probably all the damn
yeah,
channels. Everywhere you go. You log on
that's
to
all that comes across. That's for sure.
Facebook, here goes some ass. Log on to Instagram, here goes some ass.
I want to see a woman in a slip.
Shut up. It's going to prevent pregnancy.
You know it will.
You remember when you said that? Oh, that was one of the funniest shit you had ever said. I remember that like yesterday. I said, this fool said this. Like, when they didn't get
Man, so many people hit me up about that dumb stuff. Somebody asked me, does it actually do that?
Mm-mm.
I said, start wearing them and see.
Mm-mm.
That's
I
what
think that the premise of a slip has to do with decorum. And usually if a woman has that type of decorum, which we used to back in the day, even if you were hoeing, you like kept that shit on the low. It wasn't like a thing where it was about class and respect, and that also went along with morals and values and going to church and having a husband and raising your kids and being, structured a certain kind of way. That's what it used to kind of go with, even though it didn't guarantee your ass wasn't fucking.
See, that's what I meant. And that's why I
It
said
came
it
with
actually does prevent it, because hoes didn't wear slips.
and hoes didn't come to church, did they?
Yeah, they come to
See,
church.
back then, the older folks, the older women, they would run hoes up out the church. They wouldn't let them feel comfortable there.
They shouldn't feel comfortable there. It's no different than a Christian should feel comfortable around hoes or around drug dealers or around
in the
anybody that's
church,
doing something wrong.
Right, there goes these motherfucking hypocrite Christians. It ain't come as you are, because they judging gangbanging, they judging hoes, they judge. See, they not in the saving business, they in a judging business.
Well, see, the problem with that, Daryl, is everybody continue to think that everybody in the church is Christians. Just because they come to church every Sunday for the last 40 years.
I know y'all not. Trust me, I know y'all.
Now, ain't no y'all, nigga.
No,
y'all. The ones you talking about are hypocrites.
Yeah, because he just talking about, oh, they shouldn't let the hoes, and they shouldn't. Why not?
I didn't say they should. No, I did not say that. I said hoes shouldn't feel comfortable around Christians, just like Christians shouldn't feel comfortable around
But if
hoes.
Christians are in this, if people is trying to
save and help,
save and get people to, then they should feel very comfortable.
No, they shouldn't. The Bible even says that you shouldn't feel comfortable around people that's doing wrong. People that's doing wrong. See, if a people that's doing wrong feels comfortable being around Christians, then you're not acting like a Christian. You acting more like them. So that's why they feel comfortable around you. You don't feel comfortable around people that's not doing the same things as you.
Yeah, because you probably putting a different spin on what comfortable is. I'm saying, why feel that way? It's like when somebody that does counseling, they're counseling the downtrodden, the drug addicts, the whatever. It's like when pastors or somebody goes to a prison. I'm sure they don't feel comfortable, like you're saying, around a murderer and a rapist and all this shit. But they're not. They're there to instill a different value in these people. That's what I'm saying. Like you probably saying two different things. You talking about hanging out and kicking it and mingling and shit. I'm not talking about that kind of comfortable.
I ain't necessarily talking about that either. But I what you're talking about is the actual people at the church making them feel uncomfortable. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm saying when they come into church, they should feel out of place. Just like a Christian, if you go into a place where there's a bunch of sinning going on, you should feel out of place. Not saying that the people in there should make you feel like you out of place. Like coming to church and then the ushers and the sisters and the motherboard saying things and making you feel like you shouldn't be there. I'm not saying that type of.
So if you go into quote unquote the house of the Lord, you should feel uncomfortable. That makes no sense, sir.
You must not be a Christian then.
Whatever,
it makes a lot of sense.
I don't answer to you, so I don't have to say whether I am or not. Who are you?
I didn't ask you was you a Christian. I said you must not be a Christian because the Bible tells you that. The Bible listen. You just have to think about it logically. If you a Christian and you going somewhere where there's a lot of sinning, if you don't feel like you out of place, then you might want to check your Christianity.
I'm talking about a person.
And it's no different
I'm not talking about the Christian. I'm talking about the person that you talking about.
The sinner, right?
That's coming. We all sinners. So you talking about the person that's coming.
We all may sin. We all ain't sinners.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, okay. But yeah, I don't agree with that because I know at a point in my life when I was doing shit and whatever, and when I did go into the church, I did feel at peace. I did feel I was getting away from the bullshit. I did feel so. I don't know what this. They shouldn't feel comfortable. I felt very comfortable.
Did you go back out and start doing the same thing as soon as you left?
That's neither here nor there. That's not the point.
Can you answer the question?
Because that don't have nothing to do with that don't have nothing to do with while you're in church feeling comfortable or uncomfortable.
It does, because if you came there and you changed, then that's probably why you felt comfortable.
What does that have to do with being comfortable?
But if you're a sinner and you come in the house of the Lord,
all right, bro,
and then you going right back out there doing the same thing, the Holy Spirit, the Spirit ain't gonna even allow you to feel comfortable until you ready to change your ways.
All right, I got you.
You're very argumentative.
What did you get out of that? What did you get out of that sermon, Daryl?
Nothing.
I told you he's my favorite.
He can't tell me how I feel or anybody else feel.
You want to tell me if you went out and did the same thing or not?
It don't matter.
It does matter. How you gonna tell me
the point is how I felt when I was inside the Lord's house, and I didn't feel uncomfortable, regardless of what the fuck was going on outside.
It does matter.
Okay, all right.
I told you why it mattered. You just didn't want to hear it.
Nigga, again, who the fuck is you? You tell me why it matters. You act like everything that you say, nigga, this law.
It is.
About what you
said. Damn fool.
That's your opinion. That's your opinion, sir.
No, these aren't opinions. That's the difference between me and you. I don't say opinions.
Nigga, okay.
That's a matter.
Yeah, I know. They facts.
I'm giving facts. There you go. My nigga.
They're your facts. They're your facts.
I only give my opinion when you ask for it.
Which I never will. Go ahead.
If going to church, okay, so here's a question. If going to church did not stop you from going back outside to keep doing whatever you was doing, assuming that wasn't exactly on the Lord's to-do list for you, what did you go to church for? Was it for a funeral or a wedding?
No, I've always went to church. I wasn't. We wasn't. I don't come from we wasn't forced to go to church. Like some people wasn't going to church, going to Bible study, wasn't that kind. But I go to church. Just like a lot of motherfuckers that do wrong. See, that's the misconception with niggas like this guy. You act like it's murderers that believe in the Lord. What are you talking about?
Why do you think murderers believe in the Lord? What you mean?
I can't speak for them, bro. I don't know. But
why do you think they believe in the Lord then?
Because that's
when they sitting in the death chamber, you're like, please, Father.
Yeah, some of them may, but if you think that that's just everybody that's so a so-called Christian or somebody that ain't never did nothing wrong, right?
Say that one more time.
Some people do it in the name of the Lord.
You're right.
That's who they doing it in.
That's some people do. Some people like religious cults and stuff like that. That they be heavily religious or something in whatever their religion is, and they be feeling you ain't never heard listen to a documentary of a killer saying that God told him to do it.
Mm-hmm. I heard a lot of nuts say shit like that.
But you can't say that they don't believe it, whether it's real or not. It's something, you know what I'm saying.
No, you can say they don't believe it by the actions they show.
Discussion.
Anybody. So if that's the case, everybody can say they believe it. This is an example I used to give when people say stuff like that. It's almost like, matter of fact, Shannon, I told you on this show once before. I said, do you believe I'm the best domino player you've seen? You said, yeah. I said, so would you bet on me against anybody, whatever case? You said, yeah, I bet on you. I said, see, that's showing that you believe something. Your actions show you believe by the actions you put behind what you're saying you believe. So when you say you believe in God, that means your action is showing that whatever God asked and told you to do, you're doing. You can't say you believe in God and then going against everything God say do, because part of what God say do is some reactions to doing the shit you doing that he said don't do. So if you actually believed in him, then you wouldn't go against his word, because you know the consequences of it is something you don't want to go through. So you can't say I believe in God and then do the opposite of what God says do. True. The two don't go together.
But what if you believe? What if the person doesn't believe or interpret the Bible in the same way that you do?
Well, they don't believe in God.
But if they may believe in God in their heart or in their mind by what they've been either taught or learned on their own, just because you don't agree with it, they would argue that this is what they believe. And how would you?
Well, if we're going off the same word,
and it can be coming out the same Bible, but it can be interpreted differently.
Well, if you interpret wrong, you're not believing in God. You believing in your interpretation.
This nigga got 10 kids. I'm sure this nigga has committed adultery, which is one of the commandments. Yeah. Like, get the fuck out of here. Okay, then you don't believe in him. You don't believe in him because your actions said otherwise.
Well, I believed in him. I just sinned.
See what I'm talking about? it's moving the goalpost with this.
How am I moving the goalpost? You act like I disagree.
So he believed in him, even though his actions didn't line up. He just sinned. But the nigga the other nigga that believed
I didn't justify my sin. She's saying the person's sin is justified because they believe God.
I'm not talking about that.
Listen to what I'm saying. She said God has told them to kill these people.
Okay, that was what she said. I'm going back to the example I gave. I'm going back to the blanket statement of if you went to church, you don't believe because when you stepped outside of the church, your actions said otherwise. That's where I'm at.
That ain't what I said. See, if you'd answer my question when I asked,
I guess he don't remember that conversation.
When I asked you, we was talking about you feeling comfortable in the church. That's what we was talking about.
And you also said that if your actions go against the principles, then you're not a believer. That's what you said.
Yeah.
Okay, like you.
No, I believe.
No, I just sinned. I just sinned. Man, get out of here.
That's not. But see, what you're saying is she said something about God told me.
I know what she said. We're not even talking about that. We're going back to what you originally said. But you asked the question: did you change when you left the church? Did you? If your actions don't change, then you're not a believer.
No, I didn't see you changing what I said.
Yes, you did. We can go back and watch this when it's put up for when y'all put it up. Go back and watch it.
I know what it is.
Do you ever go back and watch this shit after it's done, or you just do it and just move on?
No, I just move on.
You should. You might judge yourself.
I want you to go back and watch it.
I don't need to because I know what you said.
Now, why you don't need to, but I need to, and I know what I said
because you not now you moving the goalposts. You acting like you didn't say that.
I didn't say I didn't say it. Why you keep saying that shit? I just agreed with you. I said that, but you're mixing what I said.
No,
you're saying that
you're
basically saying if you sin, then you don't believe in God.
A different
now,
rule.
Listen to what I'm saying. So that's why you didn't hear it because
you are applying a different rule to yourself. Oh yeah, my actions didn't line up with it because I just sinned. Not that I'm not a believer, but I just sinned. Man, get the fuck out of here.
Now, are you ready to listen, man?
Fuck, I'm always listening. See that, and that's your point. You don't think I am.
How you just listening? Talking. You fucking talking.
You just, nigga. Go ahead, spit your little.
You sure you through? Because I'll be quiet while you talk, nigga.
Spit your gibberish. Spit your bullshit.
Are you through talking? Is the question.
I'm here for it today, motherfucker.
I'm here with your regular ass too. Is you through talking, nigga? You still talking
that bullshit? Come on, sinner. Come on.
Now you through?
I just started to know shit.
No, because this nigga's a weirdo sometimes. Go ahead.
You sure? I want you shut the fuck up when I'm talking.
I shut up a lot of times when you talk, because most of the time, 95%
I'm
of
talking about this time.
Yeah, I could comment on bunch of shit. I use a lot of restraint on this motherfucker, but today ain't the day.
But don't use no restraint on here, nigga. Use your restraints in the streets. It's the time to talk. No. We only here to talk.
Go ahead. Talk your bullshit.
Now, when I said what I said, ma'am, I was talking about when Shannon said that God told them to go and kill.
Nigga, fuck you and that ma'am shit, nigga, you bitch ass nigga. You ain't talking to me like that. Like, I'm tired of that shit. Like I said, nigga, I don't give a fuck, nigga. I'll shut this motherfucker won't ever get nothing.
What you mean?
Shit.
What that mean?
Kick me off the motherfucker. That's what it means.
Why would I kick you off?
Nigga, fuck you.
Daryl, listen. Unlike you, I don't.
No, fuck that. Because nigga, I'm tired of the shit.
If you call me
the shit that apply to you, you don't even have a conversation, nigga. Huh? You just like it's like, oh, what I say and whatever, and everything everybody else saying this motherfucker is some bullshit. Nigga, fuck that.
I ain't even said nothing yet.
Because I know what you said, nigga. Go back and listen to it.
Why can't I repeat what I said?
You gonna tell me what the fuck?
I'm gonna just let you tell me what I said now.
I ain't got this far in life, nigga, not listening and comprehending, nigga. I'm very educated.
So you understood everything everybody has said to you.
Nigga, I heard.
Educated got to do what you listening.
Nigga, you said if you step outside the motherfucking church and you don't change your actions or your actions don't line up with what
that is not what I said. See,
you don't believe. Go back and look at it.
That ain't what I said.
So then when I brought it to you and your 10 fucking kids and your adultery and all the bullshit that you doing, you said, oh, that's there. I just sinned. Man, get the fuck out of here.
Because you mixed the two things we were talking about. First time,
because you talking about what Shannon talking about when somebody said they'll kill in the name of the Lord. I ain't talking about that.
But that's what we was talking about when I said that part.
That's what she went to, and I went back.
That's what how you gonna go back on somebody? That's what we're talking about, though.
Man, whatever.
You mixed the two.
No, that's two different stuff. That's two different topics. Somebody killing in the name of the Lord. Somebody killing in the name of the Lord ain't the same as what you said. That if your action, did you change when you left the church, nigga? Did you not say that?
That was about you being comfortable when you came in the church.
And then after that, you said if your actions, you're not a believer. If your
actions, I said.
Okay, dog.
I said if you came, you said you came in the church and you felt comfortable. I said, well, did you go out and do the exact same thing you did when you left the church? And you said that's neither here nor there.
Go back and listen to it. But go ahead.
And then,
I'm telling you what was said. Then when I was talking about you sinning, I mean your action not showing what God say do. That was in reference to when she said, God telling me to go kill some people.
Okay.
And then keep going. You still said something else.
No, I ain't get to say nothing else because that nigga went crazy on us.
No, because then you said that I can't even remember verbatim, but you said that if a person is out there committing sin, or what did I say, murder or whatever it was, you said they don't believe it, then they don't believe in God. That's where he's at. Because I was
I said, you said if the Bible, if his interpretation of the Bible is different than mine, and his interpretation is saying that God is telling them to, I said, then no, he's not believing in the God, he's believing in his interpretation. That's what I said.
You said we'll go back. That'll be
we're gonna go back.
We'll go back because I can't even remember the verbatim, but you said it more closer to how Daryl is saying it than how you're saying it now. Because that's what I was trying to get to, the interpretation being different. So if a person interprets it differently than you interpret it, what makes them any less of following God than you are? Just because you interpret it one way, because that's been a question I've asked from the beginning of this podcast about Christianity. What makes Christians believe that their way of thinking and interpreting the Bible is the right way, as opposed to Buddhism, Catholicism, and any other, one that goes and they have different traditions and different ways of worship?
Well, it's the same either way. Just like we believe our way is right, they believe their way is right. It's all faith-based. So
okay,
it's
but it seems like it. But what I'm saying is, what I'm saying is, the question is, why do Christians? Because you don't see any other race. I mean, any other religion. I haven't seen any other religion condemn people the way that Christians do. Christians seem to feel like they have the key to the kingdom.
Well, the difference mostly between Christians and other religions is most other religions don't have a consequence. They don't have certain things they supposed to do or have to do, or there's consequences behind it.
I don't know. I think they do. I think they all believe that the wages of sin is death.
Who?
And then you have all of them. I mean, I don't know of any religion that has cured dying.
No, we don't.
And the reason why we die is because of sin. Or am I wrong?
Yeah, you're wrong in the way.
Don't explain how I'm wrong to me, please.
So the death part is going to hell, not just dying here on earth. Everybody gonna die here on earth. So the wages of your sin is gonna send you to hell, is what that's basically saying. We all gonna die, even if you stop sinning and do everything God say do, you still gonna die, but you'll go to heaven, which you never die anymore. This life is gonna always end, but after that, the everlasting life is what it's talking about.
But I'm saying, so you don't believe in redemption then?
What you mean?
A person can't be redeemed. Like, just say you've been fucking up all your life, and then you get to the last. You live to be 70, 68 of the years you've been hell on earth. In the last 2 years, you proclaim you love whatever you love in the name of God, and are you redeemed because of that? And the first 68 years don't matter; they don't count anymore. Or are you condemned to judgment regardless of whenever? Meaning that if you take it the way you're saying, nobody's going to heaven.
No, that
because it sounds like you're saying there is no redemption.
Why you say that? How y'all keep misconstruing what I'm saying?
Say it again. Because that's how.
Daryl, is that what you heard?
I didn't hear that part. You know what? I apologize. Like, what set me up, because I know what he said, and instead of, because I had a thought in my head to ask him another question, but I took the shit personal when he said something about if your actions, is whatever in the streets or whatever, then you're not a believer because you're. And so I went off on a tangent. But my next question, because when he said that, I'm like, well, how does that explain the pastors that fall short? That cheat, that fraud the church, or do whatever, are they not believers? That was really what in my thought in the head while he was talking, but I went off somewhere else. I just lost it. But again, I know what you said, and that's what you said. You saying you didn't say it, but you did.
No, I'm saying I said it, but I said it in reference to what she was saying about she was saying that people are saying that God is telling them to kill folks.
And they do.
And that's my point. So that's the people I'm talking about.
We were talking about religious cults. But okay, but you can't say, but even as a Christian, this is from what I understand, regardless of if you agree with what somebody else is doing, you can't condemn them.
I ain't condemning nobody. I'm just telling you that ain't what God said do.
What's the purpose of repenting? Like Christians, what's the purpose of that? If
to be, you don't believe for your sins,
don't line up, so you can't repent. What?
Being forgiven of your sins and giving you a clean slate to do right.
So that's what we're saying, and we'll go back. I'm definitely going to clip this. This will give me a project for the next couple of days. Clip this, because I think if I put it together and you see it just clips of what you said, it sounds like you're saying there is no redemption. It sounds like it's condemnation for being a sinner. And then when you turn around and say, like he said, well, when it comes to you for X, Y, or Z, whatever you've done, then it's like, oh, well, I was just sinning. You just threw it off casually as if it didn't apply to you, as it applies to the way you're saying it applies to everyone else.
How y'all keep getting that?
That's why I'm saying that's how it's coming off. That's why I keep getting the same
because
thing.
You never asked me about.
I'm asking you, like,
you never asked the question that Daryl just asked about redemption and being forgiven for your sins.
The way you said it, Shannon, was very well spoken. That is exactly when I asked him, because as I heard him talk, in my mind, I'm thinking, damn, this nigga just said that.
This is what you mixing up, Daryl.
You don't believe. So that's when I threw out the kids. That's when I threw out adultery. I'm sure whatever. And then his exact words was like, "No, I ain't no sinner. I just sinned." What's the difference? I'm not no criminal. I just committed a crime. Listen to that. I'm not a criminal. I'm not a criminal. I just committed a crime. Like, nigga, what is you saying?
That's true. That's agreed.
Okay. All right.
Listen, Daryl, do you consider yourself a criminal? I mean, seriously.
No, I'm not a criminal.
But do you speed sometimes?
Of course.
So you committed a crime, but you're not a fucking criminal. See, you can commit a crime and not be a criminal. You can sin and not be of the world. That's the point of being able to repent of things that you done wrong.
Yeah, I know.
But this is the difference in what y'all trying to say.
That's
when I said, when you brought up the kid thing, I didn't say. See, you try to mix it in with what she was saying about the person saying God told me to kill these folks.
Dude, stop.
I didn't say God told me to go out.
This is what you need to know about me. If that's what I was thinking, if that's what I was referring to, I have no problem saying that. That is not.
I'm saying that's what you was referring to.
But that's what
when I said what I said, I was referring to that.
All right.
That's what I'm saying.
I was off this killing in the name of the Lord. I don't even know nothing about that. I don't even care about that.
But I was talking about that when you interjected and said something about me.
Before you said that, you asked me about once I stepped outside of church how I was living, and then you said if she said something about the church didn't change you or something like that, and then you said something about not being a believer in the Lord because you're doing wrong. And I disagree with that,
man.
Okay. All right.
I said your actions would go with what he said, dude.
All right. I got you. I'm done.
See, that's what I'm saying.
Okay, but still,
when I asked you what I asked you, Daryl, you wouldn't answer me. So we moved on because Shannon brought up the stuff about, well, some people say that their interpretation is telling them that God said go out and kill such and such. So then when I'm responding to that, then you jump back in and said something about me having a bunch of kids and committing adultery and all that. So then I'm responding back to you on that part. But you trying to mix the two and say, well, I'm saying what I said to her don't match up with what I'm saying about myself, about the kids. Now, the difference is I'm not saying God told me. My interpretation of God's word ain't saying, well, you should go out and have a bunch of kids. That's what I didn't say. She said the other people saying God told them to go kill people. So that was my response to what she was saying. And you trying to mix my response to you with what she said about the people God told to go kill somebody. And that's where the miscommunication comes in there, because you're trying to mix it all together. And I'm answering one question, then you jumped in with the thing you said and trying to mix them both to what I said in reference to what she was saying. See, the difference is I never said God told me. My interpretation of the Bible is God saying, yeah, I'm supposed to go out and have a bunch of kids or commit adultery. So my point was, no, I just sinned. God didn't tell me to do it. I was just sinning. That's why I said I just sinned. Because I was making reference to me just sinning versus me saying, well, my interpretation is God said go do it. So that's where the communication mix-up came in.
That sounds a little bit more like you're clarifying it better, but it ain't what you said at first. At first, the way you said it literally sounded like you were saying people who are sinning are not of God, and whatever it is, and then if when it applied to you, like he said, he brought up X, Y, and Z, you was like, oh, I'm still of God, I just sinned. But we're gonna go over that, because I mean, it's funny how this just came about like this, because this was one of the topics I wanted to have before we got moving into the relationship parts and the men and women part of tonight's show. Hey, Gov. Hey, Maggie. And don't mean to be rude to speak to y'all. I know, Maggie, you've been there for a minute. But is the Bible divisive? Because interpretation matters. And because if interpretation didn't matter, we wouldn't have so many different versions of how to worship and believe. So when I'm talking about some of the things that are in the Bible that are said, and then some things that you actually witness from people and how they interpret it, because a lot of the Bible interprets Christians as murderers, like they were sent out to kill in the name of Christ, because they were supposed to, when they call them fishers of men, they weren't actually fishers. Like they were trying to force people into Christianity instead of bringing it to them and accepting it on their own with the knowledge and the love and all the things that are supposed to make you.
What are you talking about? They try to force somebody in believing Christianity.
Well, that would be something I would have to go to research so that I could actually give you the actual scriptures. That even in religious studies, they talk about how Christians were the ones who were killing people, because they were like, if like when it got sent out from, because I can't say this verbatim because I'm not looking at the book, but when they got sent out,
so-called Christians, not Christians.
Well, what they have in the name of Christian, because I know this is studied, and it was like from whenever the beginning of when they twisted up the Bible.
Who twisted up the Bible?
The powers that be. Don't get me to saying they want to say, from what I'm understanding, the Catholic Church. So in the Pope and all the way back with everything that's in the Vatican and in the archives and whatever they call that, what they call it, Gov, like a tomb or whatever. Then they got all these artifacts and the actual real scripts of the Bible. So a lot of
When,
those things they have. Go ahead, girl.
when you're talking about the Greek Septuagint and the Hebrew scriptures to the Greek scriptures and things like that, you go based upon who wrote different books of the Bible. In the Catholic Church, they added Bibles. They added what you call books to the Bible to really support themselves instead of just allowing God's word to motivate them to do the right thing. Now, when you talk about Catholicism, yeah, they have amassed murder all the way up to the heavens, and they did things that they're going to have to answer for. Matter of fact, a few years ago, they caught 6 priests that had enslaved like 20 women in their basements, and they were having sex with them. They were torturing them, and they finally caught them, and they put them in prison. But that's not all that Christians. When you say Christians, there are some that's so-called Christians, some that profess to be Christ-like, but they prove false to his ways. So you have to understand that just because the person say that they're a Christian doesn't mean that they are.
Preach, brother.
You know.
Nigga, he just said the same thing I said.
Talk your shit.
Yeah, but
Yeah, you gonna agree with him? He said the same shit I said.
But it's crazy because
Find out you hate me, nigga. I'm gonna stab your mother.
when you
No, you're a hypocrite.
when you see just like the Sadducees and the Pharisees back in Christ's time, they adorn themselves in purple garb and fringes made of gold and all like that, only to attract people. But they wasn't true Christians. They weren't, because of the way that they did things.
And
It's,
that's the point of contention, right there.
but
You
the Bible
that
isn't divisive. It's because of the way men do things that make the Bible divisive. They set foundations that we can see, and see. Then we say, okay, this is a man that's supposed to be of Christ. Then the Bible is wrong. No, the Bible is not wrong. It's what they're doing is wrong. You see.
See, what
It's
she
just
asked
like,
me earlier, Gov, she's like, well, maybe that's their interpretation. What they doing is right.
well, most
I didn't say
people
what
are
they doing was right to
traditionalized.
them in their mind. Go ahead,
Yeah,
yeah.
most people are traditionalized. It's been passed down from one generation to the next. Even though it may be wrong, they still do the things that their forefathers did. You see, so they never actually learned the truth.
Mm-hmm.
And so, if you don't delve into that Bible and get some understanding for yourself, you'll never learn the truth either. You see, so you have to really become an avid learner of the Bible. Use your internet, use publications, use science, use history. Look at what the Bible dictates in it, and then learn for yourself, because man gonna keep teaching you what he wants to teach you. You see, so if you don't delve into it yourself, you'll never know the truth.
Now, what is the delve?
That's why I'm
What is
not
the
big on
what
I
is
mean,
the
like, I
what?
love a good sermon, but I'm not big on preachers because I think that a lot of our people are allowing for preachers to interpret the scriptures for them, and then they just follow whatever they say. This is why I say when things
You're
get
true.
into play, where you go to the extreme, then you have cults, and then you'll have a religious cult where, oh my God, and I know you know who I'm talking about, the man that had all of them drink the Kool-Aid. You know what I'm saying? He was he
Jones,
called himself
Jim
Jim
Jones.
Jones.
Jim Jones.
He called himself a religious leader. You know what I mean? And he had them people
Everybody call
believing.
themselves a religious leader.
He had a big following too.
Call
He had
yourself
a
a
huge
Christian,
following. This
Yes,
is
you
what I'm
do.
saying. Yeah.
But
like
see,
Dylan
that's
said
the
I do.
thing. But that's the
It,
thing
it
that,
about
a lot of those people got over there and they realized when they went over to Africa and Jim Jones brought them there, they realized that what they were following wasn't right too. Some of them wanted to get out of there, but Jim Jones found out that a lot of people were going to leave, and that's when he devised the Kool-Aid thing. He said, "Ain't nobody leaving him. He gonna take everybody out." So, man, I wouldn't have drunk no
indeed.
Kool-Aid. They'd had to shoot me or I drunk that Kool-Aid anyway. But
I mean, if you's gonna die, you gonna die. Might
but
as well
that's the
die
ignorance.
fighting.
But that's the ignorance of us sometimes, is that we see people and we see them in an elevated position, and we want to believe what they say because of where they're at that time. But we need to be more attuned to searching for things ourselves. Reading the Bible to find out. Ask questions. It doesn't hurt to ask questions. And
I love asking questions.
the internet will
I love it.
provide you a plethora of answers if you just use it. You know, man, my
But I
father was a minister. My father was a minister. I didn't go to church because I didn't believe what they were doing. I just didn't go. When I got old enough to run away on Sunday morning, I did, because I just didn't understand a lot of things that was going on in there.
and I can agree with that to a degree because that's what like I said, I wasn't raised in the church, but when I got older and on my own, I sought out the church because I've always known God was real. I've felt God my whole life, so know that there's something going on. So now I want to find out about it. But the one thing that always kind of pushed me to just be like, it killed my motivation, is what I would say, or I ain't gonna say killed it because then I just research on my own, and this is why I call myself more spiritual than anything, because it's like it didn't kill it, but it's like it diverted my attention from wanting to learn the word, understand the word, fellowship with like-minded people, as far as when we're talking about um, following God, right? But the atmosphere and the behavior of the parishioners, this what you call the so-called Christians,
Right.
didn't seem very Christian like. It was very unwelcoming. Like I feel just fine here, whether I come dressed up, whether I come in what I had on last night, which I can guarantee I've never done that. I've never went Saturday to Sunday like that. However, we know people do that, and I'm not here to judge them, because if you're still seeking out God and trying to get your understanding, I don't care how you get there, what you wear. For me, I mean, have some decorum. Like you can't just come in there naked. But I'm just saying, like they'll say, the church says, "Come as you are." But if you come as you are, then depending on who's running, because this is where this started with the women motherfuckers running the hose out the church. So that thing, it wouldn't even just, it would just be sometimes, it's not necessarily, because I ain't never been in no church looked at as no whore as far as I know, but I know that I've been to churches where it's like they're in like a clique or something, and when you walk in, it's not welcoming. It's like, who are you and why are you here? And it's like, I'm here for the word, you know what I mean? But they want to know, well, who did somebody send you? And it's like everything but welcome. You know what I
Judgment.
mean?
Mm.
Yes.
Very judgmental, and you know what I mean. And that's what was uncomfortable. It wasn't that I didn't feel comfortable in the church. It was like it felt like I was making people feel uncomfortable by me being there. It was like I say, especially if you go like to some of them smaller churches, a bigger church where they don't know who coming in the door after the first 20 people anyway. I'm not talking about that, but those more intimate ones, especially ones like you go to in the South, where they heavily into
Mm.
certain things. You come in there and it's like, what you doing here? And you have to have some type of pass to be up in here.
Mm.
Like, oh, sister so and so is your auntie. Oh, well, come on, baby, come on, baby. But then if I just say, hey, I just walked in off the street, then it's like, and do y'all know? And you know, it's just all this kind of speculation and the things that they would do to make things feel uncomfortable and make a person like myself look for a different method of getting to God and building my relationship with God as
So,
opposed to
so do you
church.
go to church now?
No,
No.
no.
Do you study the Bible?
The last time I went, yes, I try. Yes. I've been doing that for a long time. I've got several books down. Like I might be halfway, but I skip around. Like when I was younger, Genesis, Leviticus, like the first five Bibles I had, I mean, the first five books I had down young. I'm talking
Genesis,
about,
Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers,
yeah,
Deuteronomy, Joshua, Judges, Rules.
Joshua, Judges, Numbers. Right,
You
there you
got me.
go. I got
You
the
feel
first
me?
ones down. But then it was later when I got to be an adult that I started dwelling in it. And the first thing, because of everything just seems so crazy, like just even having a good heart and a good spirit and constantly intaking negativity from people will run you to the Bible because you're trying to understand what's going on.
Which
Because you're like, I'm
Bible are
not
you
putting out
studying out of?
anything. Right now we got, I guess it's the King James version.
The King James?
I imagine.
Do you
New,
understand it?
New King James version is what I'm in right now, but it
Do
hasn't
you
been the old.
understand it?
I'm trying. I ain't gonna say I completely understand it. I'm trying. I'm a work in progress. But the first book that I read out of the Old Testament, other than the first 7 books, 6, 7 books, is Revelations. And then I started trying to go backwards. And then you talking about I don't know, just for me trying to
Well,
backtrack
Revelation ain't no joke. You know that
how
now.
how I know. That's why when I talk about things, I'll be like, well, if y'all read Revelations, like, why are y'all like? This is my biggest thing with a lot of people that are Christians. They act like it's like doom and gloom and this and that and that, and it's like, why are y'all acting like it's doom and gloom when if you are truly a Christian, you know you winning in the end, but it's gonna be hell on earth. It's gonna get
The one
worse, and
thing,
if you're going according to that, it's gonna get worse and worse and worse. But to see the worst would mean you're getting closer to God, and that's not how it seems like they push that shit out there like that. Go ahead,
right?
Daryl. I'm sorry.
I mean, I just want to say, just the way Governor delivered the message that he delivered. You know what I'm saying? Like, I totally agree with him. Like, at the end of the day, you have to search for yourself. You have to study for yourself, and because I've been to a thousand churches. You know what I'm saying. I've seen the positive. I've seen the negative. You know what I'm saying. And for instance, like what you was talking about, I used to live in North Carolina, so you know I visited Shirley Caesar's church, whatever, and I heard them women. I saw how they was. You know, that was one of them big hats and certain a dress code. You know what I'm saying. And if a woman didn't have a big old hat where you couldn't see past her, you know what I'm saying? They was rolling their eyes. They was whatever. I used to live in Austin, Texas. I visited Potter's house a few times. I know what it was like when TD Jakes was preaching. It was standing room only. People was getting turned away. When TD Jakes wasn't there, when he was doing his speaking engagement, his book signings, whatever, you could walk in there and sit anywhere. You know what I'm saying? And tell me I'm lying. So it's like, what are you in church for? Are you in church for that man? Are you in church for a relationship with God? You know what I'm saying? So regardless if it's Jerome sitting up here preaching his rhetoric or a pastor in the church preaching their rhetoric, I'm not buying none of that. It's those are spiritual advisors. They can point to scriptures and things like that. It's a basis. But to get a true relationship with God, you sit up here leaning on what this pastor's saying, and then as soon as they do something wrong, all these people in the church are so stunned, they hurt, they crying. Oh Lord, he let us down. That's because y'all believing in the man. You know what I'm saying? Instead of what you need to be believing in and building a relationship is with that Bible, like Governor said, the Lord. You don't have to go to church every week to be a Christian. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, the Bible does talk about congregating and fellowship and, you know, whatever. Yeah, I'm for that too. I'm not judging that. But like I said, a lot of people going to church for the wrong reasons. They going to church to be seen, to judge, to talk about it. Then you got the pastor up there. He's screwing 10 women in the damn whatever. His wife's in there. He done screwed 10 other people. You know what I'm saying? So when you see all that, I got churchgoers in my family could quote the damn Bible from Genesis all the way to Revelations, and I see how they live their life. So that's what turns you off to that, to where you say, you know what I'm saying? Like, ain't no man gonna tell me nothing and tell me it's fact, and because he said it, and I need to agree with his ideology or whatever. Nobody, not
Just
no,
me. Just me.
not no man on this earth.
Well, now hold on. Now, you don't go to church based upon what others do. The scriptures tell you, not to look at the man, but to copy his faith.
And I just said people
And
are
so-
in the church looking at the man.
And so when we start pointing fingers and doing like that, we're human. Everybody's going to make mistakes. So even, my father, yeah, he had children outside of my mom. And we asked my mom, why did you put up with this? And she said, well, that's the way things were done back then.
Right.
Because I had a sister and another brother that I didn't even know until I got in high school. That my dad had relations with women in the church with,
Mm-hmm.
And so, but the thing of it is you have to have a gathering place in spite of all the imperfections that's in there, because men are gonna be imperfect. They're gonna make mistakes and do things wrong, but you don't do things wrong. By you saying, okay, I'm not going to go serve because these people are done wrong. Well, now you're saying you're turning your back on God.
No, that's not what I said. So that's what you're
you said you didn't go to church?
I didn't say I didn't go to church. See, that's
well, I misinterpreted what you were saying.
I said I didn't go. I haven't found a church home.
Yeah, what I'm saying is I'm a believer that I'm not judging anybody that doesn't go to church if they still have a relationship with God. If you have a Bible, if you pray, if you believe, whether it's because you was raised to believe in or whatever, and you decide that you don't want to go to church anymore for whatever reason it is, but you still continue your relationship with God, I don't believe that you have to be going to church every Sunday to be a believer.
Does the Bible say you're supposed to go?
You can low key call this church right now because we are fellowshipping.
No.
We are fellowshipping and we're speaking on God. And
not the church house.
If he said 3 people in
No,
who said
Jerome,
that who said it has to be a house though?
The church is the congregation, not the building.
Oh Lord, niggas go with that.
No, it is. It's in the Bible.
Is
the
it
congregation is the church, not the building?
Okay, well, all right. Well, let me ask y'all this: why was Jesus so upset at the people when they were gambling in the church?
In the synagogue, yeah, because they were doing bad things in his father's house.
So that's my point. So it's his father's house, right? That's what the church
Correct.
is.
No, not today.
Huh?
That was then, but that's not today. Because
where's his father's house now?
At that point in time, when Jesus was here on earth, there was really only one religion.
Okay.
That was based upon Jesus. Now you have all these others that then spanned off into all these different things. Man, there's so many. It's crazy. When let's go back. Okay, when Jesus died, before he died, why were they making offerings? Why did the priests have to make offerings up to God? Because there was no mediator. The priest was the mediator, so they had to sacrifice the communions to God. Now, when Jesus died, it says in the Bible that the what was it called? Something was split in the synagogue, which no longer tithes had to be made, and Jesus died once and for all sins. Okay, so now we have our mediator, so we don't need priests to make an atonement to God for us, because Jesus has made it for us once and for all. But we still go to church in order to serve God, you see.
So
But we
the
don't
guys
have to make that sacrifice. We don't have to pay tithes, and the ministers know you don't have to pay tithes. They know that, because tithing is your offering to God. At that particular time back in the day, that was their offering to God. Now, because Jesus died for our sins once and for all, we don't have to make that tithing anymore. But since we still traditionalized, and our parents did it, our parents did it, we continue to do it. But we don't read the scriptures to find out that you don't have to do it.
So, but when they tied it then, what were they tithing for?
For their sins.
When we tithe today, what we tithing for?
We don't have to tithe for our sins anymore,
But when
because
the people that do
Jesus
tithe,
died once and for all sins.
I'm saying, but the people that tithe today, what are we tithing for?
I don't know what y'all tithing for, because you don't have to.
I researched that not only was tithes an offering to God, it was also to be given to the less fortunate. And I think that's why a lot of people began to worship or follow a lot of these big prosperity preachers, because they start believing that because this person has accumulated a lot, that they're blessed. So you want to emulate them, because if they're being blessed in this space, I want to be blessed too. I want to participate in
So,
their
so do you
blessings
believe that?
instead of getting their own blessing. I absolutely do not believe in that.
Yeah,
But
okay. I was gonna say, because
I'm
you
saying
know,
what I research. You know what I'm saying? I do research for understanding, not to apply anything in particular to any person, myself, or anything other than my relationship with God. I worry about me and God. You know what I mean? I pray for my son that he develops his own relationship with God, but I can't make that relationship happen. He has to make that happen by wanting it, seeking it, and whatever how he can do it for him. So for me, if tithing were still practiced in that way, I would not have a problem with tithing as much as I possibly could, probably more than I could, because I'm one of the type of people who would give you the shirt off their back. Like, I'll give you my shirt. You know what I'm saying? It's cool. I'm going to go get it. If you don't seem like you can get it, I can go get me another shirt and you be cool. It's not as much about, for me, when I see tithing as, and this is just what it looked like, I'm sorry, you're tithing to make this person who claims to be a preacher, pastor, reverend, whatever, prosperous. It's going to this person's vision, this person's dream. Because if the pastor stand up there and say, we need a new roof, he gonna say we need a new roof when nothing's wrong with the roof of the church. You know what I'm saying? But we need a new roof. So now we doing a. Have you ever been to the church? Because I've been to church enough to been in even just one church enough times to see this happen. Oh, we need a new roof all of a sudden, and then it's not just tithing. It's not just tithing. You got the pastors love donation, and then they have this like separate building fund. You know what I'm saying? Where they put like a thermometer, and as they reach this certain goal, like kind of like a GoFundMe, then this is what the funds are to be used for. But then you look back and you say, well, dang, okay, that was 3 years ago. How long do it take to get the roof fixed? And then they could tell you, oh, this happened or that happened, and you know, this and that, and the fact that I have yet to see a church, and I'm not saying it doesn't exist, but I have yet to see a church where its actual um, what y'all call them, parishioners, people in the congregation, where they can, if they're going through hard times, they can literally go to the church. I need my rent paid. Like, screw a light bill. I need my rent paid, or me and my baby gonna be homeless. I've been tithing in this church for 5 years. It don't happen. You know what I'm saying? You have things like you watch during the pandemic. You watch Joel Osteen refuse to let people into his church and claim it was flooded. I bet you it being flooded in the inside and then finding somewhere to figure it out is better than being outside, where not only is it flooded, it's the elements, it's no roof, it's no nothing. You know what I'm saying? No bathroom facilities and things like that. And not for the pandemic, I'm sorry. For Hurricane Katrina, if I'm not mistaken. It was for Katrina. You know what I'm saying? When did the churches open the door for its people in need? And that's what I've been looking to see pushed. But I digress because I could go on and on.
Well, me personally, I don't wait on the church to do something. If I know somebody needs something and I can help them, I'm going to help them. And I give you an example. Me and my friend, one of my good friends, we used to call on one of the older ones in the congregation, and we would go over to her house, and we found out her stove, she can only cook on one aisle, and the freezer didn't work in the refrigerator, and all this, So me and him got together. I bought the stove, he bought the refrigerator, and we took it to the house and we installed it ourselves. Now she was so ecstatic. And we weren't gonna go and wait on the elders in the church to say, okay, go ahead and go and do this or whatever. We do it ourselves. So, and that's what the church is for. Like I said, the congregation is the church. If you see someone in need, you don't wait on someone, because then it could be too late.
And then
You
in some churches, it's more about they see you in need or they see something might be whatever, and it's more about talking about you and telling you where all you went wrong or how they think you went wrong. It's still more condemnation and judgment than it is love, just from what I see, because I agree with that. You would think that
Yeah.
you would go to your church and that would be your safe haven for your troubles, because shit happens. And not every, and see, one thing I learned a while ago, not that long ago, because it took me a while to get this point, as far as why I always had a lot of problems trying to identify with people in conversations, or at least have a conversation that was worth having and it didn't turn into an argument. I had to learn that not everybody thinks the same or on the same level. Some people, and that goes into with everything. So, like I say, you have to have compassion for the person who lost a shirt, but don't have the capacity to get another one. Is what I'm saying. I know I have the capacity to get another shirt. I'll give you the shirt off my back and go get me another shirt, because instead of being so arrogant in myself and saying, well, if I got a shirt or two or 10, how come you can't get no shirt? And we're all not walking the same walk. God gave us all a different walk in life. And some are harder than others. You know what I'm saying? I would consider myself having a very difficult walk in life, because the better that I try to be, the worse shit comes my way. It's like it's constant. It's like, have you ever felt like somebody trying to beat you into submission?
That's
I,
Satan, honey.
I feel that. I feel that. I felt it for a long time. And so,
If if you're trying to get to know who God is and love his son, Satan gonna try everything in his power to block that. He's gonna try his best, if it's been proven from the beginning, Adam and Eve, they were supposed to have a perfect life, live forever, subdue the earth, do all the things good. Satan came in and he deceived, you know. So
uh,
Satan can give you things too. He's powerful. Remember, he offered Jesus all the kingdoms of this earth And if he can offer him the kingdom, he can give y'all some money. You know, I'm just saying,
And he can
beware
teach.
of
He
your.
even teach you how to go get you some.
I'm just
But yeah,
saying.
it's a difficult it's a very difficult walk in life because I don't even want to get on me right now because we ain't talking about me all night. Anyway, we're gonna move on. We're gonna move
Yeah,
on. That was
Jerome
just
seems like
something
he
that
bored over
I
there.
wanted to.
Just
I want
listen.
to say I want to talk about another topic that I brought up, but Jerome got some topics.
You go ahead.
You sure? Because we can move on.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want it to stay too heavy because
We can get to this one. We can
the
get to those
religion
when the ladies start coming on.
can get a little heavy. Um, so my other question that I had for tonight was because I hear a lot of people talking about how racist America is. Is America racist, or is it the people that's running it racist?
It's
You got
both.
Like if you step away from saying before black people were free, we know that the Constitution has some racial elements in it. But once we were freed and the amendments were made to the Constitution, like the 14th Amendment for birthright citizenship, our rights to vote, um, killing that 3/5 of a man clause, and all of that shit. Do you look at the Constitution as racist anymore, or is it the people making it seem like it's racist because of the way they're applying it?
Look, when the Constitution was written, it said, for one thing, it said that all men were created equal, right?
Correct.
So when we, as black people, we were still enslaved. So we weren't even considered men or women. We were
Correct.
considered stock. We were considered just like the cows and the horses to be sold and bought. So the Constitution has no bearing on us as a black person anyway. But when you look at it today, are there still racism? Yeah. There's still the Klan and all that one. You go to certain parts of a state or a country and you'll see racism. Go down to Redneck Corner, Alabama. It's called Redneck Corner for a reason.
Well, that's my point, Gov, of the question. Is the Constitution, like I said, don't
It's,
start from before 1865, go after 1865, after certain things were amended for us to be recognized as full human beings, man and woman.
yeah, but
So
it's
moving
still it's still
forward, is the Constitution racist and the Constitution of America racist, or is it just the people that running it? Because when you bring up a group like the KKK, then you're talking about a group of people. It's not the Constitution. They're not even following the Constitution. They're following their own ideology.
yeah, but that's not the only group that believe that their their race should be superior to another.
Who
Right. And
You
else?
this
see,
is what I mean by, is it the people that are racist, or is it America
it's
itself?
definitely the people because people teach their children. They teach their children's children. You see, and it continues to be taught because they're not born that way. You see, so it's definitely the people. I mean, you look at the Constitution as just words. That's all it is. It's words written on a piece of paper.
It's
But the
law.
action behind the words is what makes it. So if the Congress or legislature worked with that Constitution, then it wouldn't appear to be racism in that realm. But if they don't work with it, then you can't do nothing but say they're racist. They're the ones that committing the crimes out here against our people.
I
What do
think
you think
blacks are
that?
more racist today than anybody else.
I think
agree.
blacks
I
are
can
hurt.
agree.
I think black people are hurt, and they commit a lot of things that look racist.
No, I'm
You
talking
know,
about the way we talk and the way we feel about the white man and the white folks and stuff like that.
yeah, I don't feel one or the other. I mean, I think I can have a good white friend just like a black one,
Yes,
but
sir.
But I
but it's
just
the
But it's
way
all about who
mean
they
people act.
are.
you hardly hear
Right.
you'll blatantly hear black folks say racist shit. But you don't really hear white folks saying racist things.
Where you been at?
I
Man,
mean,
look.
Right.
in here
Lord
in
have
Kansas
mercy.
City and in Chicago, I've never heard five white folks in my entire life. I ain't never even heard 3 white folks in my entire life say something racist. I've heard plenty of niggas on a weekly basis say racist things.
Well, I know when I first moved to
I think people
Vegas,
get
even
You
though
say what,
even
Bill?
though 7-Eleven turned out to be my favorite store, when I went into 7-Eleven when I first moved to Vegas, I experienced a racial comment from a white woman, and I had never in my life, and you know how much I love my white folks, I had never heard a white person speak like that before. Bless you. You know what I'm saying? And so it opened my eyes because I, to a degree, would say that I was under a cloud of some sort that had not rained on my parade yet. So that was the first time it was a little drizzle on my parade. I was just like, wow, because I had heard before I moved to Vegas that Vegas was racist.
Mm-hmm.
But I was, I'm like, how? Like y'all talking about white folks? I love white folks, so I'm not tripping until I actually experienced it, and I was like, oh, so this the shit that get niggas knocked. I mean, get a bitch knocked out. Like I can literally sock you in your mouth right now, but if I don't want you to commit violence against me for my freedom of speech, I can't commit violence against you for your freedom of speech. But it took me aback for a second because I was like, damn, I've never experienced this. Like, wow, this bitch racist. That shit was, it actually was kind of exciting because I was like, damn, like this bitch was racist. Never seen that shit
How
like
old
that
were you
before. So,
then?
um, 35
So
ish.
see, Shannon was 35 before she even experienced racism.
Well, I was born into it, and being in Louisiana, man, it was rough, and I'm telling you, watching men hung in trees and all that, I saw it.
And it's
Being
crazy, with to just go a little further. I was out, so this is definitely after I'm 35 because I did, like I said, I remember the first time I experienced the goofy shit. But my father and I was in Texas visiting, and we went to this restaurant. Well, it wasn't even really a restaurant; it was kind of like a bar grill type situation with his motorcycle club. So all of these is basically old men, but they still ride motorcycles, right? They got their Harleys, everything all fly. And a white man walked up to the table and he knew them. This is what was crazy. He knew them. And he walked up and he was like, "How you boys doing today?" And I looked around the table like, I know somebody about to say something. And none of them, not one, not even my father, said anything. And he made his little racist jokes, kikied, and then was like, "Are we doing this? Whatever they be doing still at this time? All right, I was just making sure I'll see y'all boys later." I was fucking flabbergasted. My mouth was on the fucking floor. And none of them, I got at least 8 well-to-do black men sitting at the table with me. And not one of them said anything about being called a boy.
Well, I'll give you
Crazy
one
work.
better. I give you one better. Uh, we got a timeshare down here, right before you get to San Antonio. What's the name of the town, man? I'm telling the story now. I can't remember the name of the town, but anyway, So we in there, man, and I said, y'all, I'm gonna take y'all out to eat. Let's go. So we're riding around, we're looking for restaurants. And so we see this restaurant, and it's a Friday, and it says Friday night fish fry. So we pull in there, and we get out, and cars everywhere. We go to the door. By the time we get to the door, I guess they saw us coming from the window or whatever. But the owner, a white guy, steps out of the door and says, "We don't have no more catfish." I say, "How do you know we're here to eat catfish?"
At least he ain't say chicken.
No, but he said
Right.
catfish because they have Friday night catfish on the sign. And I said, "How do you know we're here to eat catfish?" And right away I knew what was happening.
Right.
I
He
said,
saved
you're
our life.
gonna deny us service? Is that what you're saying?
Well,
And
speaking of that, let's
so
go with it.
he said, okay, come on in, but we don't have any catfish. I said, okay, that's fine. So we go in. They set us at a table, and guess what's coming out of the kitchen? Hand over foot, catfish. Every time somebody orders something, it was catfish. We the only black people in there now. My wife and my children. And catfish coming out hand over fist. And so I'm sitting there, man, I'm getting mad. My wife said, "You want to leave?" I said, "No, I ain't leaving." Man, I'm getting upset now, I'm ready to lay some hands on somebody.
You just like Daryl.
So I call him over there. I said, "Man, I thought you didn't have no catfish, so the sapsucker gonna lie again." Oh, they pre-ordered it. That's what he says. They pre-ordered the catfish. And I'm like,
We ordered it for the white teas.
Yeah, and I told him, I said, I told him a lie. I said, the truth ain't in you. I said, you know something else? I said, if my children weren't here, man, I would lay hands on you right now. I would put my hands on you. He said, well, you can leave my restaurant then. I said, let's go. And that's when I told my wife, no, let's go. And so after we left, though, the interesting thing is the whole staff left with us. He didn't have nobody to serve, nobody to cook. They were all Hispanics. So the guy said, if he can treat y'all like that, look at how he can treat me. And so it was all up in the papers and everything, man. I wrote the attorney general. And I told him our situation, told him what it is. He said, do you want to take it to court? He said, it'd probably go to court for years. I said, no, but you know about them. That's what I told him. I said, I ain't got to go to court. I said, but you know about. So the next person that comes and they want to go to court, it's always something been established against that guy. But racism is still here. It's still here.
Do you think blacks are
here? I believe the country racist. Go ahead, Daryl.
Yeah. So my belief is that I disagree with we are more racist. I think a lot of these terms get lumped together. There's prejudice, there's racism, the foundation of it stems from a structure of you're inferior, we're superior. That's a system that was put in place. That's racism. That's what racists are. That's how they feel. I feel like black people before segregation, before integration, I should say, was a lot more racist because of what they endured. If you look at a lot of people that was 80, 70, a lot of them are gone now, whatever. But if you was born a certain time, words like them crackers, them honkies, them rednecks, that was used commonly back then because of what black men, black women endured. I feel like it's exactly the opposite these days of what Jerome is. I feel black people are weak in a certain sense now. They're after because in the midst of wanting to integrate and be like them and be with them and get their acceptance, you humbled yourself and you you know what I'm saying, you're more of a, I don't know the word to describe, but like for instance, the common thing that black folks love to do these days, these black folks now. I saw a video of a little white boy dancing. It was two little white kids dancing, and you look at Facebook, you go to them posts, and you got all these niggas. Oh, they could come to the barbecue. No, they can't. We black people are the most forgiving, loving by nature, forgiving, want to accept everybody, and that's not the same for a lot of white folks. So while y'all so quick to be inviting them to the barbecue and they could hang out and they could whatever and he cool and they cool, most times that's not how they view y'all, and they suppress their racism. They, of course, in the workplace. So when Jerome says I haven't been called a nigga and I haven't, because we live in a different time now where it's, either you're gonna be ridiculed or you're gonna be looked or you're gonna get your motherfucking ass whooped. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, but if you think that these white folks, when they at their dinner table or they going home talking about their day at work, if you think that they're not calling the niggers at work did this, that fat nigga Jerome was in the break room talking crazy.
But Daryl, we do it too, though. That's my point. And not only do we do it, I didn't say we don't wait till we get home. I didn't say we don't. I didn't say we don't. I'm speaking about racism. That's why I'm saying black people. Some people like yourself get racism confused with prejudice. Again, black people do say whatever, but that's a prejudice. That's a whatever. I don't want my dog. I don't want my dog. No, I'm saying if we saying the same thing the whites saying, how is theirs racist and ours prejudice?
Because racism is a structure.
You don't got no power.
Racism, right? When you say is America, so to answer your question, is America racist? Yes, because who controls America? And just like Governor said, that Constitution, when that was written, that we try to use and be like, oh, we got freedom of speech and we got the right to bear arms, we got this and we got that. That when that was written, like Governor said, it was written with you not even being considered a human being. So how can that apply to you? We want it to apply to us now. We feel like it should apply to us because we feel like laws have changed. But that Constitution is racist. It always will be.
But this is what I'm saying. The Constitution, I don't believe, is racist once it was amended.
No, it's not racist.
After we were freed and the amendments were made that took away all the things on paper that said that we are not going to be any different than anyone else on this continent or in this country. But what I'm saying is that, but no, that's not where we go wrong. Where we're going wrong is who's in power to enforce the Constitution and how they enforce it.
You know what they came up with?
You see what I'm saying? So it's not that the Constitution is racist. It's the people enforcing the Constitution is racist. You know what I'm saying? It's just like if you go, like we spoke on the last show when I said, you can get pulled over by 10 cops and get let go for the same violation that might be minor, something minor, not nothing egregious, but you might be going 10 miles over. He just want to pull you over, check your shit right quick and give you a warning. You might have had that happen 10 times because the first 10 motherfuckers that you were pulled over by were not racist. They applied the law and their discretion, because this is what it is. Police have a lot of things that a lot of people don't recognize or don't apply to the police is that they have the discretion for certain things. They don't have to give you a ticket on certain shit. They don't have to. They can use their discretion and let you go. So it's about when that racist or prejudiced, racist and prejudiced, because he does have power or she, doesn't use the proper discretion because of your race against you. So it's no different. I'll use Philando Castile right now, and then I'll land my plane, and you can rebut. But Philando Castile had a gun permit, license, registration. They never showed us, or I never saw this so-called busted tail light for why they got pulled over. But that was the reason why they so-called got pulled over, right? Him, his woman, and their baby in the back. A just person, if it's just a tail light and you just want to issue this person a warning, and they give you the information. They let you know, I have my license, I have my registration, I have my gun permit, because there's also a gun in the car. The officer who is just will apply the same thing he applies to the white motherfuckers, because the white tees usually are always carrying, right? Especially down in the South, right? So where you're being racist and prejudiced is that all of a sudden, because Philando Castile is black, regardless of all of his good paperwork, you still found a way to find fear. That is a personal, internal issue. And then you have the power of the Constitution backing you. And now you can make up any reason. And like you say, they always say they use fear as, I was scared. And if you say you were scared, that justifies you unloading your clip on somebody who's sitting down with a seatbelt on. You know what I'm saying? So this is why it's like I'm trying to get folks to give me a conversation that's deeper than saying, oh, this is just racist. No, it's not that. I don't believe that the Constitution at this point right now is racist. I believe that the people applying the rules and how they and who they use their discretion with is the racist and prejudice problem that we have.
Just
and you're right.
What you said, Shannon. Racist and racism has nothing to do with power. I don't know why y'all black folks keep trying to change the definition of racist. It ain't got nothing to do with power. Y'all niggas made that up.
All right.
Y'all need to go read what racist means. Because it has nothing to do with power. The word power ain't even in there nowhere. Black folks been saying that for the last few years online.
What is racist then, Jerome? What is a racist?
It's basically like showing like a prejudice or something. Matter of fact, I'll read it.
There you
I
go.
was just looking it up because I'm about to say.
It say characterized by or showing prejudice, discrimination, or antagonism against a person or people of a basis of their membership in a particular racial or ethnic group, typically one that is a minority or marginalized.
So where he says showing, the only way you can show your prejudice and anything else, blah, 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 in that definition, means you have some type of power to exercise.
What? Wait a minute. Whoa, that don't make sense.
No, it just means that speaking
showing
words.
your prejudice
You're not because you don't like
that means
me
all of us
because
have
I'm
power.
black. No, because you know that's not true. Because you don't like me because I'm black, you can scream that to the hills. I don't give a damn. I keep on walking. But the minute you tell me I can't walk on this side of the street because I'm black, and that's how you feel, now you are exhibiting racism because you exerted a power and authority over me.
How do they have power?
Hey, I
This is
give
what
an
I'm saying
example.
by the laws.
You can do, okay, if that's the case, you can do the exact same thing.
Yeah, but your ass gonna go to jail.
But that has nothing. No. So you saying if a
you
police
can't stop nobody. You can't stop nobody from doing nothing. But some racist people believe that they can. They call them Karens.
Okay,
the people who want to call the police over a barbecue. But if the person that they call in authority that does have power is on their side, then they will come and kick you out the park just because.
Listen, y'all keep changing things.
Go ahead.
This is how shit got confused earlier. The lady that did that, the Karen, is the racist one.
You're making my point.
No, I'm making my point. You said they have to have power. She don't have no power.
She does have power if she knows that the authority is on her side.
But like Governor said, the reason
if they don't answer her phone, she's still prejudiced. Even if they don't answer her phone call, even if she never calls nobody, she's still prejudiced.
She's prejudiced, but she's exercising a racist.
I mean, she's still racist
by trying to get you arrested and exercise some type of power over you.
But that has nothing.
Her mindset still goes back because it was passed down from her daddy, her granddaddy, to her daddy, to her, and she probably passing it down to her kids. It still goes back to the racist power structure that was implemented, that was put in place, and that's why it's a difference between that. this 13th Amendment that Shannon was speaking on, where she
14.
thinks that was the end all be all.
I didn't
First of
say it
all,
was
that
the
was
end all be all. I said
okay.
it should have been.
Okay, that was in 1865 when the 13th
Right.
Amendment
Things
was signed.
should have been
We
changed.
were still getting water, and you know what they came up with after that in the South? Jim Crow law. Okay, so just because we wasn't in no shackles and chains and getting whipped and picking cotton, it was, well, let's abolish slavery and we'll find another way to keep these niggas under our thumb, to keep these niggas enslaved. And when these niggas do try to do for themselves and Black Wall Street and whatever, we're gonna burn that shit down. We're gonna keep these niggas where they need to be, which is inferior to us. So we just yeah, you did all that. Let me finish, and I let you land when you said let me land. So we talking about 100 years later into 1965, where we still getting water hose, we still fighting for fighting segregation law, still got colored water fountains, still got this, still got that. When the 13th Amendment was 100 years ago. Come on, dog. Like, how can a Constitution not be racist when it wasn't written with you? If I write something right now, a book for my people, and I say this don't apply to white, this is for my people, that's what it is. And somebody could say, well, no, we could take something from it and we could apply it to us. Yeah, you can do whatever you want to do, but that don't mean that it applies to you because I said it didn't. And so if I say my book that I wrote is for my people, for Black people, for they whatever, and I'm speaking to them, then that's what it is. And so the Constitution is no different. When they wrote it, like Governor said, if you was living back then, you was an animal. This shit don't apply to you. This freedom of speech and all this shit don't apply to you. Because when you get to talking, I'm gonna whoop your ass. I'm gonna hose you. When you get to marching and shit, I'm gonna beat you. So to say the Constitution ain't racist is wild. Okay,
well,
that's
gonna be wilder. It's gonna be wilder, and we might as well join the circus. And I'm turning into a goddamn monkey because you're still proving my point. It's not the Constitution. It's the people applying the laws and creating the laws to make and override what we're doing in the daily day. If they were abiding by, it's them like dancing. Anytime they make Jim Crow laws and shit like that, that's them dancing around the Constitution because they are the ones in power. They're the ones, like we said, that's why having the right to vote was supposed to be so important. You know what I'm saying? Because if the laws are created more based on the votes and the will of the people, then when we get into majorities, and I'm telling you, love is the majority. You see what I'm saying? Fear is the minority. However, fear is the strongest and the most powerful weapon used against us. That's why you have to understand that we're dealing with people who are willing to kill, steal, rob, and any other atrocious things that they need to do to accomplish their goal. So you're talking about the people. The Constitution, when originally written, still had Black folks' influence in it. And it was because back then it was still like we gonna get up under British rule and we're going to become independent. We got to put something together. This is what we put together. But them amendments were made because not long after we finished having the Revolutionary War, we went into the Civil War. Because now that we've established that we are a country, now we got to see what kind of motherfucking country we're trying to be. You see what I'm saying? And that's when all the extra other shit came along. And now, are we going to have slaves? Is that going to be okay? What does that look like? You know what I'm saying? Okay, we're not going to have slaves, but we do have a huge part of our population that say they don't want to fuck with these niggas if they not working for us. If they not breaking their back and picking no goddamn cotton, and I'll get to fuck the homegirl when I feel like it in the middle of the night. I don't want to fuck with them at all then. Okay, so we have to accommodate both sides of the aisle, right? It's the application, it's the people, it's not the Constitution. So I'm just going to go a little wild for you so that you get where I'm coming from and get you to understand. I want to know what y'all think this new segregation law is going to, because we've had all these conversations and a lot of people have said that, you know what, shit, we probably should have never integrated. We probably should, and we understand why integration and all that shit took a toll on us because it made us start being like, fuck it. We actually was forced to have to deal with white folks because if we couldn't have our own shit and y'all gonna blow it the fuck up or flood it and all of this old crazy shit, then we gotta come fuck with y'all. You see what I'm saying? And this goes back to what I'm saying. The people who are willing to kill to prove their point, to accomplish their goal, and that's the opposite of what you would say the average human being has in their body. And it's supposed to be a study out there that says somewhere in the back of our brains we don't even have that natural want to kill. We have, it's like we just got the compassion. We will kill if we have to, but it's not like a goal. Like I want to go conquer this shit, and I'm willing to kill these motherfuckers that's got it for it. It now might be something that we turning into these days because we so great at assimilating. But when you're talking about the Constitution, brother, if the Constitution was wrong, they wouldn't be trying to change it right now after all the civil rights work that we've done all these years to get this shit where it's supposed to be even kill and equal justice under the law.
Yeah.
What is this new segregation law?
No, this is like with anything else. We could agree to disagree, but and I just feel like this is a perfect conversation of why we are, and I'm just speaking about black people, why we ain't gonna get shit done. We divide, because when you talk to Jews about the Holocaust, there ain't no fucking gray area with them. There ain't no, oh, it meant this. Oh no, it wasn't this. You talk to them, it's the same mindset of what that Holocaust did. You talk to the Native Americans, they don't have a different view of what happened to them. They on one accord of what happened to them. You talk to black people like we doing tonight, and one person thinks the Constitution was cool, and another person don't think it's.
I didn't say the Constitution started off.
And this is why us black people, we ain't never gonna.
It's closer to what it's supposed to be than further away, because that's why they want to change shit. So we're talking about this segregation shit. So I'm in agreement with you. I don't see why we had. I mean, I know why we had to integrate, but I don't see why once we got another piece of the pie and was able to build again, why we didn't continue to recreate our own shit instead of going over and trying to be with the YTs. That's what I'm trying to understand, because I do believe the Constitution is more correct than not. It comes from a great mind space. And you can't refute it. What I'm saying is the people who are applying these laws or who are bending them and creating shit like how you want to know how these power structures are being put back down to where we might be in a civil war again. Because if we take the Constitution and say it doesn't apply to us because it's a federal situation, right? If we take the Constitution and say, well, that's just federal, but we're going down into each individual state has the right to create their own situation, just like with abortion and anything else. Then you get to a point where we're not going to be able to cross state lines and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So it's not, if the shit was fucked up, they wouldn't be trying to have to change shit back to get it to where we are in a situation where where a lot of the people who are scared, who are sitting there, oh, we about to have this problem, we need to be with white people so bad. We need to, they're going to do this, they're going to do that. If you're not looking at it as opposed to just like what you said, they not giving up the Holocaust for nothing in the world. No, we should not give up slavery. What happened to us, not the fact that it was a part of the Constitution. We didn't even have a Constitution. You know what I'm saying? Like, nigga, when they came over here and created what the fuck they was going to do, rob, steal, kill for it. There's no Constitution. They were still beholden to Britain. So the first thing they did had nothing to do with the Constitution. These were the people with that mindset of power and conquering. That's why in the song colonizers. When Kendrick Lamar brings up colonization, they're colonizers. Before you got a law, then they got to write up their law. But by the time they got to write up their law, they was on the verge of war with themselves because they was over here doing crazy shit. And a lot of motherfuckers was like, hey, I don't know about this. I don't know if this is cool or not. On top of trade and all the rest of that stuff, because you know it all comes down to the money. So what I'm just saying, if you think a little deeper, and I ask this question, what will the new segregation laws look like? Right now, everybody's in an uproar because it's claiming to be just, right now it's just something federal. But of course, talking about just with certain businesses or however you wrote it up. But of course, if people translate that into this is what we're going to start doing in our everyday life, why should Black people be scared? Why wouldn't we want? Why wouldn't if all we've done is say that we getting beat, so you say they're using the Constitution fucked up and they out here whooping on us and doing all kind of shit to us and da-da-da-da-da. Why wouldn't y'all want to be segregated again? Why wouldn't you want to just be like, hey, like the Jews, them, like who else did you mention? The Asians. Why wouldn't we want to start getting along with each other and be in our own space? Fuck them.
Yeah, I'll be glad when y'all getting y'all own space too. Put y'all ass on somewhere.
I'm doing like Michael Jackson. I'm bleaching my skin.
I know.
They just need to have. We need to sign something. It need to be on your driving record when they pull you over. If you ain't supposed to be with the whites,
because technically, don't they really already have the right to refuse service, Governor? Like, I know that right probably doesn't. Like, if you really try to sue them and take that to like a, keep going and going to a federal position of law, in just regular life, doesn't a business have the right to refuse service?
They do, but it can't be because of your race or gender or something like that.
Well, it don't have to be because of my race, but if I believe you coming up in there to cause trouble, if I've seen your behavior reflect something that I don't want here, let's say if it's something just as simple as a dress code.
But then you change the dress code, then they come up with something else, then you can fight to where you can say, no, they clearly just prejudice or racist.
Yeah. And so why would you want to be somewhere you're not wanted?
So hold on. I'm still trying to find out. So are you saying they're making a new segregation law this year?
Trump proposed a new segregation law that is supposed to do in federal. Let me just look it up right quick, because I know what it is in my brain, but
yeah, that's dangerous.
For how I'm needing it for it to come out of my mouth, I'm not.
Yeah, let's just read it, please.
Finding it right now, so I don't want to just say anything.
Have either one of y'all heard about it?
Yeah, it's basically applying to federal contractors and also private businesses, which is and that's any private businesses that's funded by a taxpayer. So that means if I'm a white man and I open up a cleaners, that's my private business. I'm paying for it. I could put a white only sign up in that motherfucker and can't nobody say shit or do shit.
Oh, that's
and
dope.
If you don't come in here, you know what I'm saying? So to answer the question about why wouldn't we, it's the same reason, kind of like through this conference, because you got, again, and that's why I say before all of this shit, we were in a better place. Unfortunately, whenever we did have our black businesses, our black communities, where the doctor was black, the cleaners was black, the bar, the salon, beauty salons, all of that. Again, that structure, they came and fucked it up every single time. But that's neither here nor there. If you're speeding up to now, the reason why a lot of black people are tripping about it per se is because of the mindset of us. if you look at, they got Koreatown, they got Chinatown, they got
I was just about to
whatever,
go there.
all of this shit, because in their world, that's the good life. When they got their shit, they're recycling their dollars, and really, even though money is green and they all want your money, at the end of the day, if they really, if the money wasn't so much involved, if we wasn't the biggest consumers and spenders in their world, they really wouldn't want to fuck with you, period. But the problem with black folks is black folks feel making it is moving to Calabasas or moving amongst them. White folks don't want you there.
Well, the biggest problem with black folks is that we don't want to take accountability for the way our element has, or at least for the most seen, like the loudest fucking wheel on the bike. The squeaky ones is the ones that is purveying this image of us that we even know is true. As to why a lot of us be like Gov just said, shit, I'm keeping my membership up here. I don't know what y'all talking about. It's not because we don't want to love, but we are, or not that we don't want to be with each other. It's that we have not taken accountability and began to make the right kind of steps forward for us to unify. Like when we talk about a lot of this shit that we get all up in an uproar for the first year of the passing the Senate, it was a straight up man versus woman war. Like, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, well, what the fuck is going on? And then then we start talking about the kids and how they running around and doing this and that and that. It's everybody's dodging accountability, pointing fingers until we come to a point where we really start addressing that a lot of this shit is not okay. Like you talk about, nigga, put a guy. I want to see all the women wearing slips, not because they not gonna give up no ass at the end of the night, but because they gonna carry themselves in a certain way. If that's what it's about, the decorum and respectability that we used to have and carry, that some still try to carry. Some, like myself, kind of straddle the fence, and then you got the motherfuckers that's just all the way gone on the other side. You know what I'm saying? So it's more, to me, why we worrying about segregation. We worrying about segregation because we haven't figured out how to take accountability for how we've gone to the fucking left for one reason or another and not doing nothing to change that. Like I mean, it's cute. Like you would think it's cute, but it's really not cute when you think of us as a people, when the people that want to that they feel should represent us are Sexy Red, Cardi B, what's that girl named Meg Thee Stallion, you know what I'm saying? Where you got Dank DeMoss blowing up for damn near for refusing this man's right to fucking say, I don't want you in my car because I think you are too, you don't fit, or it's gonna do damage to my car. I mean, you weigh what you weigh. An extra 500 pounds is an extra 500 pounds. Whether I put a big 15, 20 big bags of motherfucking sugar or your big ass, it doesn't matter. 500 pounds is 500 pounds. I don't think my car was designed to carry an extra 500 pounds in one spot without doing some type of damage to my motherfucking vehicle for this $20 ride. So when I'm talking about how we've allowed that element to be, you know what I'm saying, what represents us, nobody shaming. No, she should be able to put her drawers on backwards and pose and put some glasses on and hold a dog, because no body shaming. Okay, we're not body shaming, but human as decorum and respect, none. And we're not gonna discredit all this drill music and bitch that the niggas is running around singing up and down the street about. So what is the problem with segregation? Is it that we just don't love each other enough to want to be segregated?
I don't want to be with y'all.
Yeah, I don't.
And only y'all.
I'm done with it. I don't know. I don't care. I got a headache from everything. This shit is overwhelming, dog. Because and that's the problem. See, I don't know. I can't say. I don't know how to say it without acting like I'm trying to talk shit about shit. You know, it just I don't.
You can talk
it is what
about
it is.
me. I don't
Like,
care. I
we
told
just
you.
don't. No,
My
I'm just
goal
saying.
is to
I'm
make you
trying. I
think.
don't know how to because no.
My goal is to make you think.
I'm
You
a
don't
very
have to
wealthy.
agree with me. You don't
I'm a
have
very
to agree
wealthy.
with me. But
Yeah,
think. I want
every
y'all to
day.
think outside of the box and
Every day.
outside of that group
All my life.
thinking mindset that we have as a black community that get us outraged. Like when you
Yeah, I
sent
don't
me
have a.
this
I
topic,
don't
you
have a
sent
good.
me that topic and it was like, oh, see, I voted for Trump. Okay, so what? You outraged about this? Why y'all so outraged about every goddamn thing? I'm not outraged about it because I think if we were segregated, we would be forced to face our own issues.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but you got.
So when they saying
you can go where you
segregate,
want to go.
Population of the black community that wait. You got a certain population of the black community that wake up every day of their life wanting to appease and get white folks approval, and my alter ego is an old white woman and all this other bullshit.
Yeah, well, guess what? If we were segregated, I would have to be forced to address my old rich white woman issues. I would be forced to have to deal with you darkies and figure out why I can't have long hair without getting fought or beat up or jumped. I have to figure out why I can't walk into the room and just be happy without somebody telling me what I think. Oh, she thinks she better. Oh, she thinks she can do this. Oh, she think this. And I ain't said nothing. I just walked in the motherfucking room. I ain't did nothing. Said hello. Oh, she thinks she this. So all these people that's in my brain talking for me. When I can get comfortable with coming into and addressing that without motherfuckers telling me I'm a hoe because I like to talk to niggas because niggas like talking to me. Oh, she must be fucking all 10 of these niggas. Every nigga she talk to, she fucking. Yeah, I will be forced to have you guys be forced to address how come black women can't get the fuck along? How come black men can't get the fuck along? How come we not raising our kids together? How come we just always find a way to find a goddamn problem? Yes, you're right. My old white woman, rich white woman at that, my old rich white ass would definitely have to be forced to address those issues. And why I don't mind? Because if I'm just like I'm saying, if I'm not finding no way where I can change nothing, why would I live my life uncomfortable around the motherfuckers who think that all that trash ass shit is cool? When I said, oh, I went to the first black school I went to, I get on the goddamn bus and these bitches want to beat me up because they say, oh, who dresses like that? Y'all must think y'all rich. Y'all got money fingers on y'all. So they beat me up or think they gonna beat me up. And then the next day, now they want me to be their fucking friend. And then y'all laugh and say, oh, well, that was just a black initiation. You know what I'm saying? You feel me what I'm talking about? Like, what kind of goofy ass shit is that? So my old rich white lady ass would be forced to address that shit head on if I had to be segregated with you darkies.
No, I view our
keep on dragging me, girl.
I view our race kind of like I used to view my kids like basketball or baseball team or something when they was little. Like I root for my kid, but I realized that my son's team was trash. So I'm not gonna act like they good and all this. I think that's how our race has become. No, I'm a part of it and I love it.
And see, that's the thing. We got plenty of issues. And see, that's not. But you know, the thing I just never subscribed to, and this is I'm speaking for myself. Because some of the things I was just mentioned it's not just in the black community. If you go to, there's white people that think there's a certain class of white people that's white trash. There's these Mexicans for Trump. Most of them wasn't like the illegals and shit. Them was and that's why people say, oh, you Mexican. What people don't understand is the Mexicans that was with they knew what the fuck was gonna happen with this. But again, even in their race, there's a division as far as You got a
But
certain class of men, you got a
they
certain class.
good with they good with them though. They good with them.
You got a
We
certain
not
class
good
of
with each
Mexicans
other.
that
We
look
not good
down on
with each
whatever.
other.
And you got a certain class of niggas. There's a plenty of communities across the country that's got millionaire niggas and whatever that's looking down on the ghetto. That's neither here nor there. But I just don't subscribe to the like I hear people talk about
that's
why
elitist.
black on
That
black.
don't got nothing to do with
We
money.
shouldn't want respect or command respect because we got issues within our own community. I don't buy that. That's crazy.
Say
know what I'm
that
saying?
again.
Like
We shouldn't demand respect because we have issues in our own community.
Yeah, that's because I hear people say,
Is that
"Well,
what you're saying?
how can we expect them to respect? How can they respect them to views? Because we got black on black, we got Crips and blood. So fucking what? It's the bottom line is that's another conversation. Yes, we got plenty of shit that we need to clean up. That don't have shit to do with the world and how we should be viewed and what we should expect as human beings. So it's like, for instance, in my house, if inside of my house, I'm running my house and I'm beating the fuck out of my kids. I'm beating the hell out of my wife, whatever. When I walk out the door, I shouldn't want respect at Albertsons. I shouldn't want respect at the gas station. They don't know what the fuck. We don't know what nobody's doing. So you should be treated
But that's the difference, Daryl. They do know what we're doing because we showing the world what we're doing. That's the difference.
I took the world out my mouth.
All
You took it out my mouth.
All niggas is doing nigga shit. See, it's that conversation.
We're saying what's been glorified and what we push out there.
All right. What was you gonna say, John? What's the next topic?
No.
Yeah, matter of fact, I'm good, y'all. I catch y'all on the next one.
Stop playing.
Nigga so emotional. Goodness great. He wasn't even lying.
This nigga gone for real.
Nigga get too emotional, man. See, that's why y'all need to go to church. Takes that emotion away sometimes. Oh, that was funny.
Oh my God.
That nigga left.
Shannon
ran another man away. She can't keep it.
I love you still, D. Hey. It is what it is.
I'm tired. I don't even want to talk about the topic.
I tried to change it to something lighter. I told you it was getting too heavy.
Let's do this one before I go to sleep. Let's see if we can get Maggie in on this one.
That's the whole thing.
She ain't said
I'm not. I say I'm gonna face this shit head on, D.
Get me in on what? I'm sorry, I was out the room. Hey, hi everybody. First of all,
what up, little dog? On this why don't relationships last nowadays? What do you think? What is the problems in relationships nowadays?
Is it any different?
And what?
Than what it was before? Is it really any different?
Well, are your parents still married?
They are.
Exactly. Are you married?
Mm-mm.
Are you in a relationship?
No.
Well, there you go. Yes, it's difference. If they stayed married back then, and we don't stay married but a second now, then yes, it's a big difference. The matter of fact, the divorce rates are like back in, I forgot what year they said, but black people were married at an 80-something% rate. Now I think we all the way down to like 26 or something like that.
Yeah, but that's because of old Lyndon B. Johnson.
Who?
Oh, Lyndon B.
Lyndon B. Johnson. Okay.
Who was that?
The president, one of the past presidents.
What do you do? What do you do?
Go ahead, Maggie. You know
he okay, so during the civil rights, no, social welfare, that's what it was. Social welfare is like 1964 or something like that. I don't know. But anyway, before the social welfare came out, like 80% of black fathers were in the homes with their families. Well, one of the prerequisites to getting food stamps and social welfare was you couldn't have a man living in your home. So it completely flipped and went the other way. Whereas now 80% of them, I'm exaggerating a little, but it's probably like 70, are not in the homes with their kids. And that's a byproduct of women accepting social welfare and letting the government be their kids' daddy.
So you blaming women for relationships not working?
I'm not blaming women. I'm blaming money. And
no, because money's always been money. You blaming women for taking the money and putting the men out. That's what you doing.
No, because the men could have. I'm not gonna blame women because the men could have easily said, if men were stand up men, they would have said, "I will provide for you. You don't need to go to the government."
Well, Maggie, you got to realize what time it was. That was right after the war, and the jobs when the black men came back, the jobs were gone. So it's not like they wouldn't work. It was like wasn't no work there for them to do.
What war?
Whichever war that happened around that time. I think it was which war was that?
World War II.
Okay. But so that was the situation. So it's not like men wasn't working and taking care of their families. There just wasn't any work when they came back. So, but even then, even when they did that, the women were accepting the welfare, but sneaking the men back in. Now, what happened was their attitudes changed. And they said, you know what? No,
I got a video.
I ain't got to deal with you.
Yep.
And they changed the point to where they stopped sneaking the man back in. And they said, no, we just going to do this without you.
Okay, so I just read the World War II was fought in the 1940s. Lyndon B. Johnson was president in the 1960s.
Well, it might not have been World War II. Might have been Vietnam War or something like that. Whatever it was.
But historically, it
might have been World War I then, but it was one of the world wars. That's when when all of the, I'm like, you pull up them pictures and they got the woman holding her arm up and all of that, and women can and all that, and you're talking about you're going from the suffrage movement to whatever war followed that. Then we had somewhere in there, we had the Great Depression. So if you guys are going to 1960, you're still too far ahead from where the shift started to change.
The shift started.
Too far back. It was, but you have to look, if you're going to talk about black women follow the feminist movement. The feminist movement did not start in Lyndon B. Johnson's era. That was when they started after the vote, the suffrage movement getting the vote, a war came, the men were gone, the women started doing all the jobs. When the men came back, the women still wanted to work. The women felt like, hey, I don't want this and I don't want that anymore, because their eyes were open to what they could do on their own without having to deal with the man that they probably don't love or have no feelings for no more. Whatever was the motivation behind it, the underlying motivation, that moved us towards, we don't need a man because we're going to follow this. They're showing that it's education, and black women were saying the same thing or agreeing with what the feminist movement was saying. We are able to do this, and that, and we don't have to just be housewives and mothers. So Lyndon B., when you're talking about the socialist movement, now you're moving forward to the implementation of what had already been permeating through the country after, I believe, if on my mind, I'm old now, World War II. It seemed like it was World War II, but go ahead. Because I don't want it to be like you to make what black women did the way y'all saying it, or at least the way I'm receiving it, as a monolith, as if we just came up with this shit out the blue.
Actually, it wasn't just black women. I mean, all women. It wasn't just black women.
Right. That's what I'm saying. It started with the feminist movement.
But the white family didn't drop like that. Like at the rate of the blacks.
So here's another thing that I talk about when we talk about the breakup, and it also has something to do with big government. But there's a decline, I think, in the fabric of what Black people consider the family, because we allow, one of the biggest things is we allow organizations like Planned Parenthood to come in and tell you that your child is not, I mean, first of all, they I guess you could say invalidated what a child is. They, instead of it being a baby, you know, now it's a fetus. Now it's something that's totally disconnected from the mother. So, you know, they tell you it's a woman's right to do what she wants to do with her body, even though a baby is a completely different body. It's a completely different person. But they're still telling women, oh, you got the right to do what you want to do with your body. So now abortion is like the number one cause of death in African Americans.
Cool.
So I feel like that has a lot to do with it too. I don't know if it's an influence, like we're so easily influenced, because when you go to Africa, they ain't just having abortions and stuff like that over there. So why, I mean, what happened here that
we devalue? You said the breakdown. You started with it. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No.
Do y'all think the men wanted these abortions as much as these women wanted these abortions?
I mean, I feel like it's some fathers who did not want, who did want their babies.
I think most men want kids they made.
So I want to say,
I think the point I was trying to make is, I think what it comes down to is the women's rebellion against Black men themselves is why they start listening to everybody else other than the Black men. Because had they listened to the Black man, they never would have agreed to a lot of these things that broke up the Black family. Kind of like.
Here's the thing. So, you had people like, I think her name was Norma McCorvey. That was the Jane in the whole case. I mean, Roe versus Wade. She was like the Jane Doe in the case. And her thing was, she actually slept with somebody, and I think she was married at the time, didn't know who her kid's daddy was.
She was white.
And she wanted the abortion. Well, they wouldn't do it because she was married or something like that. So anyway, she went through this trial, and they fought, and she was the token woman fighting for women's rights, and then she didn't even have the abortion. So she kept the baby. But anyway, so when they started doing these abortion clinics, Planned Parenthood, like 75% of them were in inner city neighborhoods. And their goal was to rid the population of poor people, disabled people, and African Americans. Like, that was the whole purpose of Planned Parenthood at the time, was to decrease the population. And they were eugenics. So they wanted to purify the white race. So they would go into African American churches and get the pastor's approval. So, when you go into the church, because that's what all Black people had, you telling your pastor, you telling the pastors, okay, preach this, let them know that we offer these services. And then the pastor's up there telling the congregation, it's okay for you to do these things. And so a lot of the Black women did. And like I said, it wasn't just Black people, but they really targeted the Black population. They really targeted them. Like, it was a plan. If you just look up Planned Parenthood and Margaret Sanger, that's her name, you will see it was premeditated for them to kind of destroy the Black family.
Well, it didn't work. and y'all still had a bunch of abortions. There's still too many of you niggas running around here.
But it's still the number one cause of death in African Americans too.
I think it's a power issue.
You say a power issue?
Power.
What, women trying to show they have power or something?
Control. Maybe control would be a better word.
You talking about the women that's having the abortions?
Mm-hmm. Or the right and weren't doing it. It's a control thing. If you really look at if you look at a lot of what you see out of the black the women in our community, even like I don't see Maggie. It's hard because I don't know what you experience and just because you all and use yourself to say you have really explored a lot. I've explored a lot, and it's not like I'm speaking from one place. I'm talking about across the country, outside of the country. It's not that I would call us angry black women. It's like I was saying or trying to relay in the last show when I said a lot of black women walk out of their house but be out their house acting like they still in their house. If you can understand control, you want to control the environment outside and the people outside, sometimes more than you have control over your own house inside and your own kids. It's a control issue that is weird that from my perspective, that I've experienced. It's like if they can't control the environment, there won't be no comfort. So I don't call them. So it seems like they're angry because it's like everything is combative. Everything is an attack. You know what I'm saying? A quick reaction and a snap. Oh, what you thought? You know what I'm saying? And it's not really conducive to actual real acclimation in society as a functioning human being. That's why you see, like if you notice the turnover rate, they talk about black women being so educated and this, that, and the other thing, and all the jobs they can get. It's because all the jobs they've had, because their turnover rate is high, because they got to go to this place and this place to find a place that is most controllable for them to stay there and make their money. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And it's weird. It's weird. It's weird. But I think that's where, whenever they were introduced to the abortion shit and, just being able to just be like, I don't got to be a housewife. I don't got to have no kids. I don't got to do this. I can do what I want to do. And I have ambition. I want to do this, that, and the other thing. Is when we were introduced to the option of abortion that controlled that. And we weren't introduced to the repercussions. If you feel me where I'm coming from. You know what I'm saying? The repercussions are the family. The repercussions, because if you have control over that baby, full control of whether it exists or not, without it being any type of medical issue, all because you don't like this nigga. And you don't want to take accountability for your reckless sexual behavior. Because what I was going to bring up earlier was when you were talking about bringing in Planned Parenthood, made black women feel like you didn't have to have your baby, or they didn't give a fuck about babies no more. I think it more came from whatever it was that started us being in like this serious poverty situation where it looked like men weren't doing shit and the women were forced to have to do everything anyway without him having to tame his behavior at all. So when you come along and you get to my generation, when I'm an adolescent, I'm being pushed it's not. I'm not being pushed to have no abortions. I'm being pushed not to have no babies by my community, not by Planned Parenthood, by my community, by the people who got 3 and 4 or 5 or maybe have had 10 kids, and how hard it is to raise children. Don't have no babies. Don't have no babies. We even doing it right now. I do it to my son. Until you are completely ready to be settled and like really be doing that as a father, don't have no babies. If you ain't really locked down and married with no girl, don't have no babies. Don't have no babies because I can't stop him from having sex. But I'm going to not encourage him to have babies. When back in the day, if you believed in family and you came from the original work ethic of Black people in America, we wasn't foreign to getting out there and getting it, babies or not. You see what I'm saying? So when you start implementing poverty, and poverty came from selling drugs and taking drugs. We were selling it to each other and taking it ourselves. So that also destroyed our community. You know what I'm saying? So when you start
But why
talking
don't relationships
about the
last
breakdown,
long?
because
You know, with this,
you have the power to not have to be in it now. It's no real commitment. You shouldn't, like, if you get married, there should be a law to say you can't get it. You can't even talk about a divorce till after 10 years. Like, it really should be like something like that, because I think just the option to just be like, whatever, spend a few thousand right quick and I'm done with this and get on about my business and move on is too easy of an option than fighting it through. Like,
yeah,
it's all the better, and it's
for
not
for
never the
some,
worst.
some just don't want the commitment. They just want the sex, and once that's over, then they're ready to break that commitment and move on. You see, I've been married for 39 years, and it's all about compromise and commitment. You know, because I love my wife. Now I flirt, and my wife would tell you I flirt. I flirt right there with her. I be talking crazy, you know, but I have no intentions of going with no one, you know, because I know where my bread is buttered, and that's it. And every day I look at my wife, it looks like a brand new day to me.
You
And
know
she
what? That was
Days
one of my
these days they
topics.
got sourdough rye. They putting butter on all
gone.
kinds.
Yeah.
Wheat,
The
white,
topics I had, y'all.
ciabatta.
What was that, Jerome?
That was one of the topics I had. There it is on the screen now. It says, basically in relationships, men think of the best things about their woman, and women think of the worst things about their men. And that's actually why I think relationships don't work. I think when we're in relationships, reason men don't leave is because we always see the best of our women. We don't focus on the worst of them. And I think women are the opposite. I think women focus on all the stuff they don't like about their men.
I can agree with that in a way, because when I first met my wife, the first thing she said was all men are dogs, you know. And I say, how do you characterize all men with one? You know, because you put me in a category of all men and you don't even know me. So how can you call me a dog, but you don't know me? And so after she got to know me, and then she had 2 kids. Well, let me take that back. The first kid was 6 months old. I fell in love with her, man. She's been my child. I've adopted both of them, but she was pregnant with another one. Now I could have easily left her when she told me she was pregnant, you know, because she lied in the first place and told me she wasn't. But I was already attached, you know, and I just was in love, I guess you could say. The first time I've been in love, and I couldn't leave. And it wasn't so much as being in love with my wife, is that baby, man, that little girl had me wrapped around her finger, man. And so I couldn't, I wasn't going nowhere. But you don't find men that will take care of someone else's kid, you know. And me, I took care of mine. These men, they never came in our lives. And that was the one thing I told my wife, if I raise them, I'm raising them my way. I don't want these men influencing the kids, you know, and all like that. And so I put my stamp on them.
Do y'all think in relationships men love harder than women?
Of course. When a man fall in love, man, that joker, he's in love. And I'm based upon what I know about myself. Because I used to be a player like crazy. I had me 7, 8, 9, 10 women at once. When I lived in LA, man, I shoot City Angels. I knew what I was out there for. And my friends will tell you, I had women. I had women that was coming to meet up and be fighting out in the block. And I'd be joking, whoever wins, hey, I'm going with you. And I get my buddy on here right now. He'll tell you I'm telling the truth. He lived in LA with me when I was out there. He's moved back to Louisiana now, but he recently just moved back. He stayed in LA for 30-something years. But when you're talking about that, but there are women who love hard too. You know,
I think all of them, well, most of them love hard. I just think men love harder.
Yeah.
I think that's why men typically never leave relationships. Most of the time, women leave the relationships.
Yeah, ain't no woman gonna slash your tires for nothing. Men don't do stuff like that. Slash tires, burn clothes, all that junk.
These new niggas.
Huh?
These new niggas do. They act just like women.
Oh man. These little punks ain't about nothing. And you know, staying with a girl for a couple of months just because you want sex and then divorce them ain't worth nothing either. Might as well not even get married. Just get sex.
I think our men nowadays are too weak.
Yeah. These and that goes back to the family, you know, because most men now are raised by single mothers, you know. So they don't have that father figure in their lives. You know, like me, my dad was there, you know, like I told you, he was a preacher, and, you know, but for most these days, it's mostly single family homes. There's parents, you know, it's so twisted today though, you know, you don't know whether it's two moms or two dads in a home now. So you raising children that's already behind. To me, that's my thing. You know, I don't think same sex people should get married. I don't think that they should have the ability to adopt children either. How you gonna get two men that's together and have a son? What they gonna teach him that is he gonna go get him a man too? Well, I'm just
If you
being.
want to, it's okay.
Is it? You sure? Now we talking
According to,
about the Bible a while ago.
I'm talking to according to y'all's
No,
laws.
we
I ain't
talking
talking
about the Bible a
about
while ago.
according to me. I'm saying you ask if they want to be with a man. It's like, yeah, if they raised by two men, hell yeah, they being with a man is just as normal as being with a woman. It's normalized to where it's an
How is
open
that
choice.
normal? Girl, Shannon, how is that normal?
I said it's normalized
Oh,
by
okay, normal.
society and the
Right.
laws.
I
I'm
got
not
you.
speaking from a personal. 90% of the shit I say, unless I tell y'all a direct story about me, 90% of what I say is me straddling the fence of a conversation because I can see both sides. And when I hear somebody speak one side, I'm going to be like, well, here's the other side of that. It doesn't necessarily mean I'm leaning unless I say so. Unless I
ain't no
say
other
so, like
side of
I
that.
believe this, but there is, according to a part of the society, there is.
Yeah,
They
hey,
feel like,
but hey, Trump changed that though, didn't he?
yeah,
Trump said ain't no
indeed.
LGBTQ or whatever it was, and a man is a man and a woman is a woman. And boy, I loved it. Now
Well,
that's
he
one thing.
didn't. But see, this the thing. He didn't abolish the laws though for gay marriage and benefits of equal partnership, and like the same way as heterosexuals. So, still, any outrage from that should be like what's wrong with you? Now that is an opinion I'm making for myself. Like this is my opinion. Like something wrong with you. Your ass think you a man today and you should be going over here fucking with women's sports. Like, I mean, you a man and tomorrow you a woman. Now you in women's sports. No, I'm cool on that. But most things I say are from. I'm the devil's advocate. That's why they call me the sinner. I'm just gonna show motherfuckers the other side of it, and um, how you cannot be offended by allowing somebody to have a difference of opinion. You know what I'm saying? I hate that my brother, I love him, left the show like that, because it's just like, go for it. Like, go for it. Whatever you want to say. This is like one of the rare free platforms out there where the host actually let you say what you want to say we're not kicking you off. Shit, I'll probably get kicked off before anybody get kicked off, nigga, as a host. Nigga, so you can say what you want, like, and being able to withstand the contention to where we can get to an understanding of people. Because sometimes I think we just like kind of get overly emotional as our people and let our emotions close our ears. Because nobody got to agree with me, but I know that I'm more spot on than I'm spot off. So, and I definitely take everybody's opinion and whatever into consideration. Like, cause you can tell me something I might never heard before. Shit.
I want y'all to start writing down when Jerome Wooten is wrong.
Oh, we got a whole project to go back and watch this video.
Ain't enough ink in the world.
We can see what y'all said earlier.
Yeah, y'all were wrong.
I wasn't wrong.
Even Stacey is on here talking about Jerome. You did say that. Maybe you meant it in a different way.
You did say it, Jerome, though. Like I said,
I said it. I didn't say I didn't say it. I said it, but it was in reference to what she said.
Nigga.
Huh?
Yeah, I come in peace. Yell at Daryl.
No, I'm just saying. I told y'all I said it. I said it in reference to something else. He kept trying to mix the two together.
We're gonna go back and see if it was mixed together and who had the misunderstanding. But no, for real, because I love when Daryl get on here and go back and forth. We, even with you or with me, I don't care. Because I got a rebuttal, because I'm comfortable right here over here. Like, it's cool over here. I like
That's
it.
my guy, man.
I love it. I love it here. So I'll stand if you want to go. Like, especially when this is why, like, it's weird because I really don't like the personal shit too much. But if we got to go personal, I'm going to stand for me. Put your dukes up. And I ain't mad at any opinion or whatever, but you got to hear mine too and where my shit coming from too. And we can agree to disagree. It's okay, baby.
I don't do no agreeing to disagree. You're going to agree with me, goddamn.
I was just going to say, ain't no agreeing to disagree on this show.
All right. Before we get over here, everybody needs to be there and agree with me so y'all can be right too.
Well, I'll be trying, Maggie. I'm not doing a good job. Maggie, I'm not doing a good job.
No,
I'll be
you're
trying.
doing an excellent job.
I'll be
It's
trying.
that one over there in the blue, the devil in a blue dress.
We know that. We know
I'm just trying to help everybody be right.
Tonight she was on her period, dog. They was going for it.
I meant to ask him before he got off.
I missed it. I was in there doing my little Sam's Club fake crab meat bowl.
He said I was a hypocrite. I wanted to know what he meant.
Rewind. Tonight is a rewind moment. Please go back to the beginning of first. Like, you probably can't. Okay, because it was me, him, and Shonda starting, and then we was just like doing nothing really. And then I think it was right when Shonda got off, and then Daryl came on. So in the beginning, after the first 10 minutes, somewhere around there. Because I got homework to do, because we got to go find what Jerome said. Because he said he didn't say it, and everybody heard him say it. So I'm with, would you say that's your brother that made that comment? Because I had saw that comment. That you, Stacy, like, yeah, you said it. Like, we got to go back and find it.
Yeah, I never didn't say I said. I never said I didn't say it. I agreed with him. I said it.
He went down.
He just kept trying to mix it with something else.
I like the dialogue. I don't even care if it gets a little heated. I like it, but just don't leave me, baby. Don't leave.
Yeah, I need y'all to just start. My wife says she don't think I'm a hypocrite. She just think I just asked you, do you think I'm a hypocrite? You said, I just think. That's saying no. Well, why the hell you ain't say yes then? See how y'all women just so crazy? If I ask you a yes or no question, say yes or no. So then when I interpret what you said, sound like a no to me. Anyway, she said, no, I'm not a hypocrite. She said, no, you're not a hypocrite. I just think you have some fucked up ways of thinking. Then my response was, well, most people that's wrong think the person that's right has a fucked up way of thinking. That makes sense.
Of course.
It does, though. See, even you agree. That does make sense. If you're wrong and I'm right, why wouldn't you think I had a fucked up way of thinking?
Sorry, guys. They're storming down here where I'm at, so.
That's good.
Are you good, girl? We're about to get off this joint. It's been a wild ride. I got some.
And then this is how y'all know. See, this is how y'all know Daryl just has a problem with me. Because this nigga governor came on here and said the exact same thing. And he said, I agree with you. I said, nigga, I just said the same thing.
You did not say the same thing.
I did.
That's why I say we're gonna go back because it might have been what you think you saying in your head. That's why I stopped when I was talking about something.
Well, first of all, like, Shannon, we know
how it's gonna come out how it's in my head, how it's gonna come out my mouth.
We already really know. We can say
relay what I'm saying.
Interpreted 12 different ways.
No, your ass. Yeah, because
see, I'm very simple. I say exactly what I mean.
Like,
there's no room for confusion
do
or nothing.
Research and shit. Like, I really do be studying a lot of shit. Like, I got a great education, and it's crazy. And we get off on that because it's crazy when they're talking about they mad about changing the education system. He gonna ban this and ban that. Whatever. I raised a kid where I had to fight for him to get an education about any goddamn thing because it wasn't about shit. It was all about trying to test these kids. They just testing them and testing them and testing them. They was hardly in school. They barely had any fucking homework. And they weren't learning nothing. And it was crazy. Like most of the shit, it's like you should be trying. You would be like, I would teach this shit at my house.
I agree with you there.
And then you really just teach them what you think is going to be beneficial in the world. So, it's always a big deal. Shit, the shit ain't the same as it used to. It used to be either because I got a great education, and it didn't cost my mama nothing. My mama and daddy a goddamn dime. And when it did become to a place where it was going to cost something, I was scholarshiped. So, what are you talking about? Now you can't teach these niggas nothing, and they unruly. You used to treat your teachers for the most part. You know, you have because I did get suspended for one teacher in the 12th grade. I ain't gonna tell that story because I'm not gonna tell that story. But one teacher got she took me there. But anyway, for the most part, you looked at your teachers with respect. You know what I'm saying? Like you wasn't going to school just disrespecting the teacher and doing what you want, and you know what the rules are. So if the phones are supposed to be, well, we didn't even have phones, but even right now, okay, if the phones are supposed to be put away and this is a certain protocol, blah blah blah, this is dress code or whatever, boom, you go to school and you do that. Not only because you respect the teachers, but you respected your parents. Like you ain't trying to get in trouble. Like my mama gonna kick my ass. What are you talking about? So now it's just like all this willy-nilly shit, and I think the kids recognize it. Like people don't give kids enough credit for being smart enough to read people. And they like, we are just up in here bullshitting. We're bullshitting. Did you bring something to feed us? You got to cook, you know, and all that old goofy shit. Now the kids and the adults are equals, and we talking to each other as equals and all that. Okay. But anyway, y'all.
My daughter's mom said she felt my daughter should have a say so, and my daughter 1 year old. She said she felt like she should be able to choose what she wanted to do. I said, so if she chose to walk across the street during the middle of traffic, your stupid ass gonna let her? She said, no. I said, well, nigga, she don't have the decision to do whatever she want to do. Man.
I think we get caught up in, for real, I got an opinion on everything. I think we can get caught up sometimes on not wanting to dim the kids' lights, because a lot of us feel like our lights were dimmed by all these restrictions. But starting at 1, no. Like at 1, no. Because like, I don't know, because some of these kids is blowing up because they are extraordinary and they're speaking like grown folks, but it's when they start and they like Miss Shirley with the boots on the ground. She is the cutest thing. Oh my God. But it's only cute right now. As pretty as she is, at about 10, all that sassy ass shit ain't gonna fly. You know what I'm saying? Her and her mama gonna be fighting. Because that can't, like, it can't continue if you don't curb that and let it be known, like, oh, okay, you about 3 now, 4, yeah, you get the little ass tapped, yes, ma'am, and curb that mouth, yes. So if they don't cut it, it's unfortunate to know that shit is gonna turn around and bite them in the fucking ass, because it's really a little too wild for a child. Anyway, because I love Miss Shirley when she taught me how to flick my fan. Where them fans at? Like Miss Shirley say, hold it right here. My niece reminded me last night. I say, how we doing this? Is right here. You hold it like this. And that thing pop. So we like it when they little. It's cute when they little, but it ain't so cute when they get bigger.
I don't think none of that shit cute ever. I'm big on respect from kids.
I mean, well, like I say, as a kid, when she's little, it's just cute because she's not disrespecting anyone. But if it's like,
what you saying, cute?
Not so being able to do the little dance and have her little sassy ways.
I don't think a kid doing grown up dances is cute at all.
That's her personality. Well, if they teaching her that and that's what it is, that's her personality coming out. But if it's not curbed to something, it will get out of hand as she gets older. It will not be cute anymore. So that's what I'm saying. When you get older, all that sassy mouth and all that shit So as long as like even with her and some of the other little kids I've seen, male and little boys and little girls, they start off cute, but because the people have gotten addicted to the money, because once that money start coming in and you getting them kind of likes and shares and shit, they making some change. So when you start talking about now they transition to now they about 5, and now they talking how they gonna talk to and go off on somebody and that's where that shit changed to something ugly. You be like, well, this shit ain't cute no more. But because of the internet, once you're a follower, you're a follower. So I'm gonna keep giving you content whether it look good or not. You know what I'm saying? Like they got the one little boy who always his mama always feed him a big plate of food and he say something cute. And it started from when he was a baby and he just was eating, and you know how a baby fall asleep eating and then wake up and still be like, don't want to put the food down. So we as parents, we've all seen that with our kids. They monetized that shit. So it was cute as he grew how he liked to eat. But now that he getting fat and he's teeth missing and he big and shit, shit ain't as cute as it was. Motherfuckers like now they like want to rag the little kid and be like, yeah, put that baby on a diet and throw some fruits and vegetables in this joint. You know what I'm saying? And this boy is eating like tomahawk steaks. You know what I'm saying? Like it's crazy work, but it go from being cute to fucked up at the drop of a dime. But when y'all asked that question earlier, what would you do? Was it for the money? Everybody got a price. I haven't seen mine yet. I do most of my foolishness for free, which is crazy. It's crazy, guys. I act a goddamn fool for no reason. But it be fun though.
Yeah, shame.
Hey, welcome to the good life. These hoes is rich on TV fighting. I be like, damn, ooh, I couldn't do a reality show. Not that kind where you got to try to get along with all women. Ooh, I would, that would be a trip. And I can't smoke weed and shit. They be wanting y'all to go. They be wanting you, Maggie. They want you to go to that shit and be sober. Knowing you about to go in the lion's mouth, you know, in the den of thieves.
I be seeing them like, well, I know for Bad Girls Club, they always like serve them alcohol. They be wanting them to fight at the tryouts for the show.
Yeah, that's for the show. But when you're filming, like unless you're like, let's put it like this: there's certain decorums that they ain't looking for you to be doing. So you ain't gonna be smoking crack all day and then go do the show. It's not happening. You see what I'm saying? But they do want you to film and be drinking so that whatever reactions happen live, they get the most of it. You see what I'm saying? Because if you already loaded, you're not functioning. You might not even come to the shit. But get you there and then get you loaded with in a space where you got issues. Yeah, camera's hot. We rolling. We are rolling. They want all that for sure. They feed me that shit because this is what me and George said earlier. That's what we promote. That's what we like. That's what people subscribe to.
We're gonna have to do these relationship questions on Tuesday. These folks didn't come on like they supposed to.
They always be bullshit. I have stopped believing.
We was talking, so she logged back off. Try to get everybody on here before 7:00 before we hit the live button, so we can go straight in the.
Well, you got to send the link before 6:50.
No, that's a good time.
Yeah, because I think what we need to do.
But I'll send it at 6:40 just to see. 6:50. Figured they knew it. They already knew it was gonna be at 7. I told them I'd send it early. So one girl, she thought it was at 1:00. She thought she had missed it already. Guess she thought the 7 was a 1.
He'll start falling for that bullshit one day.
No, I understand. Y'all women don't be paying attention.
Sound good.
But we're gonna do it Tuesday.
I'll be working.
Are you off tonight?
I am.
So why your hair ain't done then?
Who said it's not done?
So why you ain't come on camera?
Because I told you I was cooking.
What they got to do with you being on camera? Are you cooking as you online?
And do all kind of shit.
Right. You cooking as you talking?
Right.
Damn show.
Yes, I forgot y'all. That's how y'all country.
The freest show ever, the freest podcast they ever made. You cook, eat, clean.
I thought you put a broil all in the bag and just put it in the oven or something.
No, I didn't do mine like that because it's the imitation crab meat. So
never even heard of such things.
Oh, girl. And you say you made a crab boil with imitation crab?
Yeah, you know that they have this is kind of going viral, this imitation crab from Sam's that's really, it tastes very similar to the real thing and it's good. I mean, it was good. But yeah, I don't know what they actually use to make it, but it's good though. It's really good.
Get GMO.
I put some potatoes and eggs and
I saw it, but I don't know. So you made it like it was, but you still, or traditionally, but how you make a crab boil, but you waited like with the crab meat. You didn't put it in there. You probably would normally put it in there. You waited. Is that what you said? Or you just gonna do it separate?
Yeah, I did it separate. So this is my first time doing it, and I should not have done it the way I did. Next time I won't, but this time I, did the butter and my seasonings first, and then I boiled my potatoes and my eggs first, of course, and then I did the butter and the seasonings, and I put my crab meat in there. What I should have done was put the eggs and the potatoes in there with the onion and the bell pepper and the seasoning and the butter, and put my crab meat in there last. That's what I should have done. Next time I will, but it was still good though.
It's a learning process. It sounds like you got it.
How was it good? I thought you still cooking.
No, I'm done now.
His point is, you have had an opportunity to come on camera
for the last 20 minutes.
That's all you've been talking was 10.
Because I've been in and out. I've been in there eating, and then I come back, and then I go in there eat a little more, and then I come back.
It's first time governor didn't have his picture laying down, and have himself on camera laying down in bed.
See, good.
Is he still on here?
I want to see Daryl laying back in his chair in his recliner.
Didn't Daryl? Didn't he come on the first time? Did he show his face the first time?
I don't think he's ever showed his face. Or did he one time for 2 minutes?
I think so. Yeah.
It was so minute that I don't even remember, and I'm pretty good at remembering which shows what went down. What went down on what.
He still ain't answered me about if he with a man or a woman.
He gonna fuck you up.
Go to prison. He put his hands on me.
Okay, Charleston White.
Tell folks all the time. I don't know what it is in Cali, but in Missouri, it's a Class A felony. You put your hands on the nigga with a perm. I'm letting you know now.
With a perm.
Yeah.
You should go back. Go back.
You going?
Daryl was in. He was in fair form, but I didn't want him to leave. I'm like, dang, dog, don't leave. It's okay. Ain't nobody mad, boo.
He said, I can't take it.
I can't do y'all tonight.
Girls are Black Panthers. You know, that's sad that
Girl,
black folks will not, we can't seem to look at ourselves and recognize the bad. It's like when it comes to the bad, we don't want to talk about it. It's probably why he can't fix it.
Girl, he weaponized me calling myself in my comedy a old rich white lady. He weaponized that shit on me tonight. I'm like, nigga, what? Let me stand on that. Well, if you blackies, you darkies, motherfucking, we all had to be together. I guess I couldn't be an old rich white lady anymore. I would have to deal with y'all's ass because I don't have nowhere to run, nowhere to hide.
I wonder. This is what I wonder about the segregation.
Like he said, overwhelming. That should be overwhelming when you just. Because one thing I think, and I'm gonna let you. I'm gonna be finished. Is the fucking fact that in spaces where there's too many black people, everything is combative. It's just like you can't. We motherfuckers get dressed up like we're coming to have a good time. Be at a fucking bar and shit to have a good time, and then you're not supposed to have a good time because it's combat zone. That shit is crazy work to me. But anyway, I'm done preaching for tonight. Fuck with y'all.
Yeah, I'm done too. But I'll just say, I wonder if they did. Black folks don't be thinking like if they did the segregation thing, then where we gonna get our products from? We ain't got no distribution.
Have to make it.
None of that stuff.
We ain't worried about that. Like, this is what I'm saying. We ain't worried about that. Niggas can do anything if they wanted to do it.
Niggas can't do
shit. If they had if they have to do it, they will. Ain't nobody about to starve. Survival. What they call that, Maggie?
We ain't gonna be able to do it. They'll be big and they go back to the white folks. Man, we got the laziest bunch of black folks we ever had. The most combative, argumentative, don't get along, weakest men. Oh man, this is the worst bunch of niggas we ever had. We can't do nothing. Not a damn thing. You got niggas still talking about that niggas is racist and white man holding them down, and niggas making millions of dollars sitting on their couch with a camera in front of them.
They really gonna be held down if they keep on playing with the bullshit. If they don't, let them put a new.
That's why I say if they do the segregation thing, they need to have folks sign something. Sign your rights over to be with the other folks.
So if you can sign over, you gonna sign over because you ain't going.
I ain't. I don't want to be segregated. Even if we had our own everything, I still would. Even if I spent all my money with blacks, I still want to.
This is coming from the man that
with
said
the whites and everybody else too, though. Like it ain't all about the spending the money part. Hell, I want to congregate with everybody.
But if everybody don't want to congregate with you, why not just be cool? Then they like this ain't about being a choice. Like, oh, I can or I can't. If you can glorify that it's okay, and it wasn't you, Daryl, actually, the one that said it, that everybody seems to be doing quite well in the majority white, when they can have their majority white space, they're doing quite well. The Asians doing quite well, Mexicans doing quite well. And when they isolate to their own environment for the most part, yeah, they come out to get supplies and shit, but they do their own goddamn thing with each other, right? And you guys can appreciate that and glorify that and actually sit back and watch them prosper past us. But then when you say, hey, what's going to be wrong with segregation if we have to do it? The old rich white ladies like myself and, the Uncle Tom, what they goes, not Sambo, motherfucking Jerome ass, we going to be the ones that's going to be like, no, we want to go hang with them. Only because y'all act like y'all don't want to have a sense of decorum. You know what I'm saying? It's like, damn, you know what I'm saying? Like, everything shouldn't be a problem. You talk black unity and all of this shit, but everything is an issue. Everything is an issue and trivial shit. Trivial ass shit.
Yeah, ain't no pleasing.
I don't like his shoes. I don't like her hair. Like we literally be arguing over shit like that, and then we don't have no respect for each other, and we do crazy ass shit to each other. So yeah, if we're gonna be the ones magnifying and talking about we're the culture, and because I know Daryl would agree with me when I say that, like we're the culture, we're everybody's culture. When they say oh, black people don't got no culture, no, we are the culture. We don't see us trying to emulate anybody when it comes to the entertainment field, just being black, you know what I'm saying? Just our plain attitude, just how we think, the quick wit, the sharp tongue, all that shit is like an inbred nature, right? So the creativity that we have, so they love that shit. And the culture is that what they emulate. We don't be emulating that shit. We created all the goddamn music. They rebranded it. So other than that, if we're the culture for all of that stuff, why can't we find a way to find us some common ground within us? So where I wouldn't feel like I want to identify as an old rich white lady. Because what that signifies to me is just being free to be me. I should be able to be free to be me and without having to have any kind of ridicule and scorn about it if I ain't doing nothing to nobody. That's what when I say that, since you Daryl, because I know your ass watching. Since you weaponized that shit, that's where it come from. It's like I don't want to fight you darkies all the goddamn time. When I get dressed and I got my good cologne on and I'm popping my good diamonds and shit for you guys, I didn't come to fight or argue. So shit. We off this motherfucker. Bye, Jerome. I'm about to push the end button. I'll see y'all on Tuesday. Like and subscribe.